first. Damn. Y'all are quick. Y'all are quick. All right. Let's pin this. Boom. 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 Hey, hello. Hello, hello. How we doing? Hello. What's up? Ciao, what's up? Happy Tuesday. How we doing? Hello on YouTube. Hello, hello. Guys, it's oh man. It's been a couple days, right? I'm back again. I am back again. But this time I ain't leaving, okay? Trust me. I ain't going anywhere, okay? I have no more trips. No more things to do for a long time. So I'm excited to stream. What's up? Hello, Jot. Hello, G. Hello on YouTube. Kate, Angel, what up? Guys, I miss everybody. I'm so excited to be back. I'm so happy. It's a little late. It's 8 o'clock, right? Later than usual. But, I was out at dinner, so, you know, it's a late day today. But starting tomorrow, we're back to business. We missed our boy Jordan. It's been months. It's been, dude. Hello, Halls. Hello. Thank you for the tier 1. Thank you so much, Shot. Thank you. Hearts in the chat. Yeah, it's been a bit. I was gone for like 5 days. Was it 5 days for SGF? I left Saturday, and I streamed SGF. I was gone Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tuesday, I streamed in the morning. And then Wednesday, I streamed at night. And then I was gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today's Tuesday. It's been 5 days. I was gone for, what, 3 days? And now 5 days? But I'm back, okay? Hello. How was MIC? Dude, chat, it was good. It was fun. Today's going to be a little yapping. And then tomorrow, after the stream that I'll be on with Baby Seal and Wade and Nico, which I'll talk about in a bit, then we'll be back to gaming. Okay, because there's so many games to play. Ain't nothing wrong. No, it's going to be a yap sesh because I really wasn't able to get a yap session. Because I played Subnautica last week, and I got to talk a little bit about stuff, but not fully. So, a little talking today, but we're back to gaming tomorrow and maybe later tonight, because there's so many games coming out, chat. Like, I'm so excited to be back, because talk about some Final Fantasy VII Revelation stuff. I'm going to talk about the concert this weekend. 2 concerts, actually. I'm not going to post on my Instagram story. Yeah, it's whatever. 2 concerts, actually. The Distant Worlds, and then the Uematsu Kontiki show, which was also Final Fantasy. I didn't know at all. So that happened. The New York Knicks won. I was obviously, hanging out around the city when that happened. So we were partying, getting crazy. Not actually. Excuse me. Filmed some more TikToks for you guys the other day. That's why I wasn't live yesterday. I decided to take the day and film some stuff with Coco. Some skits and whatnot, some RE, Resident Evil, Leon stuff, as well as some FF7 stuff. So that is on the way too. That's exciting. But this week, after tonight, Code Veronica. Finally going to play the original CV. We're going to do Resident Evil 2 original. We're going to finish that this week. Code Veronica. Deltarune, because Chapter 5 comes out next week, right? Or in a week and a half. So get around to Deltarune. Subnautica. And then in some other stuff. Final Fantasy maybe in a couple weeks. Maybe watching the Backrooms original videos. Because people were asking me to react to the OG Kane Pixels videos. So lots of stuff, man. I'm excited. Let me take a deep breath. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, wow. Someone by me stole a whole ass street sign. Jesus, concrete. Holy shit. God damn. No one stole any street signs when we were out Saturday night. Or I guess it'd be Saturday night, Sunday morning, whatever. Yeah. No street signs were stolen. But the cops were out and about, hanging out with everybody. People are riding on top of cars. That was cool. Code Veronica has been so fun. I believe people when they say it's one of the more challenging RA games, though. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know much about it, so whenever we get around to that, probably like Friday, maybe. And if not Friday, Saturday or Sunday. But I definitely will do that in the next couple days. For sure, for sure. I'm so happy as well because after 2 years of being a Final Fantasy fan, I'm finally able to play FF7. Yeah, FF7's on every platform now. That's true. That is true. God, my nose is stuffy, man. Oh. God, what the fuck? Is that fucking pollen? Ugh. Okay, well, maybe I'm getting sick from all the traveling. But okay. All right, chat. Let's get down to business. Hopefully everyone's doing good. Hopefully doing some fun stuff. Am I good? Yeah, I'm trying to breathe through my nose. It's kind of hard to breathe through my nose, I'm not gonna lie, but that's okay. If I run up and down a flight of stairs a few times, you'll get some relief. Hold up. Like, wait, like... Ah. God, my nose. Fucking Jesus, man. I'm out of breath. It has to be the stairs. I can't just do, like, stair steppers. It doesn't work like that. Well, that's okay. Well, that's fine. But okay. Let's do this. And then, yeah, okay, cool. Alright. But chat, hello? We're back. First things first. Let's just get right into it. So this is pinned on the chat. But tomorrow at what, 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern time, I will be on Schrodinger's Baby Seals stream on Twitch or YouTube with Nico B and Professor Noctis talking about Final Fantasy VII Revelation. So it's gonna be the four of us. I've met Nico before at SGF. He was very nice. I said like 3 things to him, but he was cool. And I've met Professor Noctis and hung out with him a bunch, so he's really nice. And I met Baby Seal for the first time at Summer Games Fest. But we're gonna be on talking about FF7, which is part of the reason why tonight I'm gonna look over some of the news and articles that have come out over the past week that I haven't been able to look at, so that I'll be set and ready to go tomorrow. Because if I don't do that, then I feel like we're going to have conversations and I'm not going to know where to go because I haven't read the 10 billion articles Hamaguchi has, I guess, talked about, or 10 billion interviews Hamaguchi has been a part of. So we're going to check that out. But that's tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'll also stream after this. So this is 2 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know how long it's going to go. Probably like 2 hours. 2 hours and change. So then around 6 p.m., as always, tomorrow I'll be live afterwards for something else. But I wanted to let you guys know. Because please go hop in his chat and talk when I'm there. Or just be like, yo, and I can see that you're there. Obviously, you don't have to if you don't want to. But it's FF7, so it should be fun. But that's tomorrow. But here's some FF7 stuff. We're not going to look at this right now yet. We're not going to look at this right now yet, though. Hold up. Let me bring up this stuff. Let me talk about the concert. Okay? The FF Distant Worlds concert. Final Fantasy. Let's do this. So hyped for the RE2 Leon playthrough. I got to be there for that. Yes, that will probably be... God, I don't know when. Sometime this week or next week. But obviously before I start Code Veronica. Because that'll be in the one stream. So I should be able to knock that out in a single stream. Leon's full playthrough, because it's only like 4 to 5 hours, right? It's not too bad. It's not too bad. let's do this. Is this good? Yeah. Okay. So, chat, this weekend, I was in New York City in the Big Apple. Not for the New York Knicks playing. No, they, of course, were playing. They were in San Antonio on Saturday. But I was there for the Final Fantasy Distant Worlds concert. It was on Friday and Saturday. I think there was two or four shows. I think there was one at 8 p.m. and one earlier in the day on both days. But I was there. And what was going on there was Uematsu, the guy who made like all the original music for Final Fantasy, Nobuo Uematsu. It was kind of like a celebration of him and his music. And so, let me pull up a picture real quick. Here we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. There I am, sitting in our seats. Pretty good seats. Pretty good freaking seats. But it was like a celebration of Uematsu and his works. So he's done music for FF1 all the way to he's done music for pretty much every Final Fantasy at this point. But he worked on most of it from FF1 to FF10. He did like a song or two for 12, I think. Maybe ARR 1.0 for FF14. Maybe I don't think he did anything for 15 or 16, and they obviously did like No Promises to Keep. But whatever. It was to celebrate his music. So there's lots of FF6 music, FF8, FF9. Aerith's theme was played, obviously. But the big thing was that he was there, and Sakaguchi was there, right? One of the Final Fantasy OGs as well. And along with that, Ricky was there, Lauren Allred was there, Amanda Aiken, and some other people. And you're like, who are those people? Well, Ricky is the one who sung Steki Dane from Final Fantasy X. So she was there to do a live performance. Lauren Allred voices Aerith in No Promises to Keep, the song. Obviously not the voice of Aerith, but she is the voice of Aerith singing for the FF7 Rebirth song. And Amanda Aiken sung Dragon Song, I think it was, from FF14. So, Heaven's Word. So there was... also, dude, oh my god. Wait, Philip Hartshorn was also there. So Philip Hartshorn does YouTube videos on a bunch of stuff. I used to watch him. Let me look it up real quick. Philip Hartshorn. He was there and he was the narrator. They did the Final Fantasy VI opera. Okay? The FF6 opera, FF7 remake director reacts. And so I used to watch his videos. Dude, God, it's been so long. Filmmaker reacts to FF7 remake. Like cutscenes in whatever. God, I remember I was in these Twitch streams watching this sometimes. It doesn't matter, but this guy was there. He currently, I guess, does like reaction videos or like gaming things and works with Square Enix or some other things, I think. But he did the narration because they did Final Fantasy VI FF6 opera song. They did this live, and they had 3 opera singers. Okay. Did this live. Final Fantasy VI. Celeste singing, along with other voices from the opera show, obviously. But there's 3 opera singers, which was insane, by the way. It was crazy. And so there's also a narrator. A couple lines here and there in the song. And so Philip was the guy who was narrating it. So it was this whole thing. He was on stage, and then Arnie, I think it was Arnie, or maybe it was Eric, but the composer in the middle, and the 3 opera singers, and then obviously the orchestra. That was wild. But that also was a thing that happened there. But yeah, it was like, I tweeted it out, it was like the musical Avengers for Final Fantasy. Or farming with this picture. I didn't get any pictures that I really loved, because I like to smile when I take a picture. Or like pose for photos. But this was the best picture, and I wasn't smiling, so I look like kind of an idiot. However, I still posted it, hence why I posted this picture as well. But it was so cool. Like, my favorite song, Aerith's theme was really good, and they did One Winged Angel to end it off. But I think They did Melodies of Life from Final Fantasy IX, which I'm not going to play these songs because they're going to get copyright struck. But there was so much FF6, FF8, and FF9 music. It was awesome. Like, it was awesome. By far, honestly, I would say the FF6 opera, like that, like Final Fantasy VI, I don't love it. Like, it doesn't blow me away by any means. Shockingly, I know. But the opera scene, having 3 opera singers there, like, just sing their heart out was crazy, dude. It was insane. Yo, Peachy Summers, thank you for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, that was wild. That was really cool. And so that's pretty much the whole show. If you haven't been to a Final Fantasy concert before, it's like orchestra, obviously composer. They play the music. You know, they have some visuals in the background. Boom, boom, boom. It's an orchestra. It's a concert. That's what happens. But it was cool to see Uematsu, the GOAT, and Sakaguchi there. And Lord, oh, dude, there was like, it was crazy. Dude, if Masayoshi Soken, the guy who does the music for FF16 and FF14 and some other games here and there, if he was there, this would have been like generational, like all-time goats of video game music being in this one room. Of course, Sakaguchi he doesn't make music for Final Fantasy. He was one of the original writers and like directors or whatever, producers. But it was crazy having those people there and all these singers and just iconic voices from like decades of music. So that was cool. That was great. We had dinner beforehand. We went there, hung out with people, met some people. I didn't get to say hi to Philip at all because after the show, he was outside talking to people. But I wanted to walk up and say, yo, the narration was sick. I used to watch your FF7 remake videos that you would react to years and years ago, and those were always cool. And say, yeah, but I didn't because I got scared and he was busy. But that was the concert. That was fun. But also, the week isn't over. You were at the concert? Oh, nice. FF10 is one of my favorite FF soundtracks. I think Masashi Hamauzu would be at the Distant Worlds in Australia. Yeah, he did some of the FF13 music as well, which is cool. Because there was a concert to derail the conversation. There was a concert, I think 2024 at ANYC in New York, and it was called not Distant Worlds. It was like, I don't even know what it was called, but it was a much smaller scale Final Fantasy concert in a much smaller room. And they did lots of FF13 music with some classics from like Final Fantasy 3. It was very good. It was about 10 people on stage, I believe. And I think he was present for that. But it was crazy. Is it a New World? Yes, A New World. It was very good. I think A New World is definitely one of my favorite concerts, like orchestras for Final Fantasy that I've been to. Mainly because it's so intimate. Like, it's just a smaller crowd, which the crowd doesn't really matter. But just the smaller amount of people on stage, it's so impressive regardless of if it's a big orchestra or not. But I think what's even crazier is that when you have like 10 people with a limited amount of instruments performing these like grandiose songs or these classic songs made from, the midis, from like FF1 through like 7 or 1 through 8, whatever, it's so impressive. But that concert was great. But speaking of, on Sunday, there was Nobuo Uematsu, his like little band called Kon-Tiki. So I didn't know what this was. Well, I knew what this was, but I didn't know much about it. I just saw that this was a show that he's done in the past in Japan. But because he was here for the, the big concert, the crazy shit that was, Friday and Saturday for Distant Worlds, I guess he also decided to do a show on Sunday. And so that's why I pulled up a YouTube video here. This is not from the show that I was at. This is just an example to show you guys what it was like. But it was him in his band or his group called Kon-Tiki, and it was, I think, 6 of them. And it was this much smaller room, still in Carnegie Hall, but it was a different area of Carnegie Hall. And so pretty much this thing here was in the back. This was like the visual for a majority of the play, or majority of the concert, I guess. But We got tickets because a friend of ours was gonna go with two of her friends, but they couldn't go anymore. So she's like, "Hey, I got 2 tickets. You guys want to come on Sunday?" And we're like, "Sure, yeah." Like, it's Uematsu. Like, I'm sure it'll be fun. Like, maybe he'll play some FF stuff, assuming it would be more like original music from him or this group of people. However, we pull up, cool venue. Once again, there's a second like show area, like theater in Carnegie Hall, like underground, which was fucking crazy, by the way. It was really sick though. Much more intimate as well, but it was still really cool and still sizable for a couple hundred people. And so Sakaguchi was here as well. But so we pull up, no one's on stage. This is in the background, right? And so they got the instruments, and Uematsu walks out and he's like, "Yo, thanks for coming here, guys. Like, this is our first show ever outside of Japan, I'm pretty sure." And that was cool. Or at least first show in America, not outside of Japan, because this show's literally in Paris. So first show in America. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what's he gonna play? Like, is his group of 6 people gonna walk out and play like these songs with him? I don't know. I'm assuming he has like original music or whatever, right? Like, maybe it will sound like Final Fantasy because he made a lot of the FF music, but probably not, right? However, he sits down on stage basically like this, right? And it's just him with his big ass keyboard and his laptop right here, as you can see in the corner. Different stage, but just to give you guys a reference. And he starts playing by himself, solo performance. Like, he plays like 4 songs in a row. But he's playing FF8, FF6, and FF9 music. I don't even remember what the songs were. But oh my god. It was... Wait, let me... Oh yeah. This is going to be DMCA. But so he's on stage performing. Just him. And you're sitting there taking in like it's because it's not an orchestra, right? Like, it's not like all the crazy instruments, which sound amazing. This is more like classical, like MIDI, straight from the original Final Fantasy, like NES games or the PS1, PS2 games, because he's playing it on the keyboard. And so, like, it sounds so good, but it's a little different because he adds some extra stuff here and there. But it's, oh my god, because I didn't know it was going to be Final Fantasy. I was like, oh, it's a new Uematsu concert, like I said, Kon-Tiki, they're going to perform some shit. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be good, though, to Uematsu. But he starts out playing, I think the first song is from FF8. But, oh. Yeah, this is, yeah. Dude, but it was so cool. It was so sick, man. And then after he played some of these songs by himself, then he had the rest of his like group come out and they performed a couple original songs, and then some more Final Fantasy songs like Steki Dane. But the singer there, a part of his group named Xiao, she performed. This person has the video titled "Melodies of Life," and so she did the voicing for "Melodies of Life," which, by the way, insane. It was, if you can go to a Final Fantasy Distant Worlds concert, I would recommend everybody to go to like any sort of FF orchestra if they could. However, not gonna lie, even though this was a mix of Final Fantasy and a mix of some original Uematsu songs, I would say if you had to pick between one or the other, you should do this one first. Because this... Like, I've been to FF7 Remake, FF7 Rebirth, Distant Worlds for FF14 and 16, a new world or whatever, a couple years ago, like I said, and then this one. So this was 5. I've been to 5 Final Fantasy Orchestra concerts. In this one, it's shorter, right? It's like an hour and a half, and it's not all Final Fantasy, but I would say it's just as good as all the other ones. If not, I've also been to a Nier concert. It doesn't matter how many concerts I've been to, but I'm just saying, for like a comparison of what I've been to and what I've heard and the scope of everything, it's a bit smaller. However, it's just as good, if not better in some aspects, because once again, just it being a bit more intimate and hearing Uematsu himself play these songs solo or with his group is like actually life-changing. Like, it was crazy. It was so cool. And then hearing Melodies of Life live, because Xiao, the singer, she amazing voice. It was so good. And so she didn't do No Promises to Keep because that was at Distant Worlds. But what they did do, and I believe this was new, because he said to the band before they performed it, like, hey, we haven't done this before, like, gambaro, like, good luck. This is going to be hard for us. They did Answers. They did Final Fantasy XIV Answers, dude. Like, and Xiao did the lyrics, and there's another voice actor there. I think her name was Rie Tozuka, or Tozu something. She did some live performance voice acting with one of the songs, but she did the background vocals. Dude, hold on, let me play this. So Xiao, one of the main singers there, she did these vocals, like, you know, the main stuff. And then dude, it was so crazy, because if you don't know FF14, like, this is just one of the very important songs to the game, let alone even the lore. It kind of ties into some stuff. There's a point where the song just, like, hits. Like, it just builds up from this, like, slow, like, you know, melodic, kind of, like, not relaxing, but more calmer, and then she hits the fan. And then, you know, whatever. And then this too. Oh, dude, so good. But they did this live, which was insane, because it was 6 of them. Michi, Xiao, the younger guy. Yeah, 6. So 5 plus Uematsu, 6 of them in total. But the like, voices in the back here, like the witness feel, like this. Like the deep voice thing. Rie, or whatever her name was, I'm pretty sure that's what her name was. She did those voices because she had a headset on with, like, a little voice changer thing. So she's doing, like, the crazy, like, feel, think, teach in the back, while Xiao is singing, like, the actual vocals. Oh my god. It was crazy. It was so good, man. Like, I don't know if they performed this live before, or, like, if doing it for the shows they did this weekend was the first time. Maybe not. They haven't done it that much, it seems like, because, like I said, before they performed it, he was like, we haven't really done this much. Or I forget what he said exactly, but it was like, we haven't done this much, or we've been practicing but haven't, like, performed it yet a lot. Like, good luck, everybody. So I think they've done this a handful of times, or maybe it was the first time. I don't really know. Regardless, absolute peak, dude. It was I can't get over it. It was the, I think, second to last song. Or no, it was the last song, and then they had, like, a 2 to 3 song encore, which they were all really good songs too. However, yeah, dude, I think this was the best song I heard the whole weekend. Live. Like, because it's just so impressive to have 6 people, 1 singer, 1 background vocalist, and then the background vocalist also playing instruments along with the other 4 playing instruments. With one of them had, like, just a guitar, one of them had, like, just a bass, Uematsu had, like, the keyboard, and then the other guy had, like, 5 instruments. It was crazy. It was so cool. This was the best song throughout the whole weekend. At both concerts, like, Lauren Allred, No Promises to Keep was amazing. Ricky, FF10, Steki Danai was amazing. FF6, Opera, everything was great. Everyone was phenomenal. But this was life-changing. Like, as soon as it was done, bro, I stood up. I was like, I'm sure everyone else is going to give this a standing ovation, but I was, like, one of the first people to stand up. As soon, I was like, dude, I gotta get up. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so cool. I hope they perform it more, because they did a great job. If this is, like, one of the few times they've done it, and they haven't done it that many times, then they did a damn good, convincing job to be like, yeah, we know ball. We know what to do. Like they fucked it up. It was crazy. But that was both concerts. They were great. Dude, FF Orchestra stuff is like, it's so fun. Like, cause I've never been a concert guy in my life for just any music in general. But like I've been to some like rapping, like rap music or like hip hop in the past, but never been my thing. Just cause I'm like, oh, just listen to it like on YouTube, right? Like just listen to it in your headphones. Like, what is the point of spending all this money on a ticket when you can listen to it and it will most likely sound better, like from the recorded version? Because honestly, a lot of, I think, American singers or rappers more so don't really sound as good live as they do like when they're in the booth, obviously because of auto-tune and whatnot. However, that's not for everybody, but that's just for a handful. I know going to the concert is half the experience, which is why I'm now saying that they are so fun to go to, is because obviously the people and everything. However, like sitting there just listening to music for 2 hours, even if you don't know the music, it just it's so good. And when it's this stuff too, I could talk about it all day, but I'm not going to. Either way, live music is delightful. Yeah, I used to be a hater for a long time, because my family loves concerts. Like my sister and my parents love to go to a concert, and I'm just like, I don't want to go there, man. Like I don't care. Like it's just not ever worth it. But which I sound like a loser. Being like, oh yeah, like the video game concert is so good, but like, but going to listen to like, I don't know, what's a good example? Like SZA. I'm sure SZA live would be great. So a horrible example, by the way. Horrible example, because I'm sure SZA's got great music, but just for the sake of the conversation, like I'm like, I don't need to really go see that live. Like I'm sure it would be good, but I can just listen to it at home, which is, you know, obviously like totally wrong. So I feel like a loser being like, oh yeah, the Final Fantasy concert is so good, you have to go see that live. But I think it's not different. It's the same thing. It's just, you know, the matter of, I think I've just never really had like a celebrity crush or like an artist or a musician that I like love so much that I'm like, I need to go see them live. But I think it's different for like Final Fantasy because it's a game and it's like a series that encompasses so much and so many emotions and so many different games and so many different like themes and so many different types of music. So I think that's why I'm always been more inclined to go watch it, because I'm just not one to really like ever kind of grow a parasocial relationship, or not even parasocial, but just any like affinity towards a lot of musicians, because I'm just like, I listen to their music, but like that's it. Like as like people, I don't really care, because a lot of musicians kind of suck as well. But regardless, the point is, I'm getting off topic. I used to be a concert hater, and now I'm like, damn, bro, this shit does move me. This shit moves me. Like it's so good. But if you can go to Kon-Tiki, I don't know when Uematsu will be back. I'm pretty sure it was sold out, and Distant Worlds was sold out. So I'm sure they'll be back eventually one day. But I would recommend that one over the... If you have to pick between both, do that one. Because you're going to get your FF music, but also probably would be way less likely or way less common, because FF Distant Worlds concerts do happen a lot. So you'll have way more chances to go to those. So if Kon-Tiki does pop up, please check it out. It's so fucking cool. Not being paid to say this. But we weren't going to go. Me and Coco didn't even know about it. Like, we had no clue what it even really was, other than it being Uematsu's, like, group. But our friend was like, hey, like, I got 2 tickets. We're like, sure, why not? Right? Like, let's have some fun. Thank God we did, dude. Thank fucking God we did. So worth it. It was so worth it. But yeah. Crazy stuff. I work in live theater and concerts, so some of my favorite type of work. They're amazing. Yeah. I tuned in late, but yeah, Lauren Allred was some of the bits of No Problems to Keep. Yes. I know all the live singers were great. Like Lauren, Amanda Aiken, Ricky. the 3 opera singers for the FF6 opera, which I don't even know what their names were, but they were just opera is so crazy. Like, I'm not an opera fan, I would say. Like, I wouldn't go to a concert and be like, oh yes, like I love this type of music, but it's just still so intriguing to listen to them sing and how they project their voices. Like, it's a spectacle, and I think that alone is what makes it so interesting for me, even though like opera singing in it of itself isn't necessarily something I'd be like, oh yes, I love listening to this, you know. The Met Opera, I'm not surprised. Yeah, it was pretty damn impressive, man. It was crazy. These days, it's also hard to go to concerts casually because it's damn expensive. That's also true, yeah. Stuff's expensive. The FF concert was like $95 per ticket. It's not cheap, for sure, right? That's not cheap. But at the same time, it's like, I think it's still a lot cheaper than a lot of concerts. I feel like that's expensive for a concert ticket, but I just don't have a reference. Like, I've seen tickets being like a couple $100s for like Ariana Grande or something, and I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. Which, of course, that's Ariana Grande, right? But I just don't have a reference. I don't know. It's cheap in my opinion. That's pretty decent. Do you see the trailer for Shrek 5? I did not know. But yeah, it was so cool. Do you have any thoughts on the FIFA World Cup? Not really, no. I'm not a big FIFA guy, soccer guy, or football. But Brazil won, right? On Saturday? Because oh wait, I forgot to talk about that. Being in New York City, chat, when the Knicks won. 95 isn't bad, but anything under 90 is really good. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes... I feel like, yeah, $50 concert tickets just, like, wouldn't happen nowadays. Like, if someone's like, yeah, you can't get much for $50 or under, I'd be like, that makes sense. But it just depends on the size of the artist, obviously. Like, Distant Worlds being in Carnegie Hall, plus it being FF with, like, Uematsu, like, it's... You know, it's they ain't no Taylor Swift, but pretty renowned when it comes to orchestral music and whatnot, so it makes sense. But it's worth it, I think, in my opinion. It's so fun. But yeah, I was in New York, obviously, city, in the weekend, and the New York Knicks won. And Saturday, the concert ended at like 10:30, and so we're going back home, right? Heading back home, fourth quarter in the Knicks game. We are about to get to Coco's place, and there's like a minute left. And so we're with Zach, and Zach's like, bro, does anybody have ESPN and can pull the game up? And I'm like, no. I don't really keep up with basketball or sports anymore, even though, you know, I still have my set teams. But I'm like, wait, it's on Disney Plus. So I pull my phone out. Because I don't have Disney Plus, but my family has Disney Plus, and I leech off of them. So I pull up my phone to pull up the family Disney Plus, right? And I get the Knicks game on. Like 40 seconds left. But obviously, you know, there's like two timeouts for, I think it was the Knicks, and like one for the Spurs or vice versa. So obviously, it's still going to be like, it's going to be 10 minutes till the game even ends in the first place. So I pull out the game, and so we're watching. We didn't walk back to Coco's place because we're like, we have to stay outside and listen to the city of New York exclaim as the Knicks hopefully win. If they lose, then we'll still hear it, but we want to listen to whether they win or lose. So I pull out the game, we're watching it, we're standing on the side of the street, and two people walk by, and they're like, hey, wait, hold up, and they walk back. They're like, wait, you guys got the Knicks game on? I'm like, yeah. Like, all right, yeah, just watch. And so I'm standing there, and it's 5 of us, Coco and Zach, and then these 2 people we don't know, but they just asked to watch. We're watching the game. 40 seconds left. You know, it's like 10 minutes before the game actually ended because all the timeouts or whatever, right? Classic basketball. But so we're watching it, and so the Knicks win, right? Oh my God! I'm gonna be a fraud for a second. I grew up being a Knicks fan. I was at a New York Knicks game when I was younger. I had like the Carmelo Anthony jersey, like big Knicks fan as a kid. Then my dad switched to the Sixers about 7-8 years ago. you know, hey, I still like the Knicks, but I feel like I'm a fraud being like, I've always liked the Knicks, because I haven't. I grew up liking them, and then kind of just haven't been into basketball, so not going to say I've been there since day one, because I haven't, but I was an OG for a little bit. Beside the point. They win the game, okay? And so Zach is freaking out, because Zach is a Knicks fan. And he's like, yeah, let's go, right? And so we look up, because we're outside, and we're in, in a living area, a neighborhood kind of thing, kind of. And we see someone watching the game in their apartment, and Zach's screaming, and this guy looks out his window. He's on like the 10th floor or whatever, and he's looking down at us. And he's like, yeah! And Zach's like, yeah! And so they're screaming down to us. And so we go quiet. As soon as the game ends, right? As soon as the second, because they took the lead by, 4 points or something. So 2 seconds left. Obviously, the game was pretty much over. So I muted my phone. So I mute my phone. And because I'm like, we got to see if we can hear the city of New York celebrating the Knicks win. So I turn it off as soon as the clock hits 0. And you hear a rumbling, bro. like a just like a inaudible rumbling of and also you could hear people screaming as well, just freaking out. And then 2 seconds later, not 10 seconds maybe after the game ends, the timer runs out, fireworks going off, just boom, 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 boom. It's crazy. It was so okay, right? It was awesome, but obviously, we weren't really around that many people because it was late and we were in a residential area. So we quickly run back to Coco's place. Right? We get changed because we're in our nice, fancy, suits. Coco's in, a nice, fancy dress. Her feet are killing her from the concert. We go back, we change. We run back out. Right? Oh, it's 11 o'clock, whatever the time, 11:15, whatever. Who cares? We gotta be here. We got to see what's going on. This is a 53 years in the making situation, right? So we go back out. We roam the streets a bit. It is crazy. Just, people, literally, I've never seen so many people happy and joyous. Streets flooded, sidewalks flooded, cars slowly driving through with people out the windows, people on top of the cars cheering, air horn. Someone had a flamethrower doing this in the air. Music's playing. People are honking, high-fiving everybody. People are climbing on stuff and getting all excited, whatever, right? It's crazy. And so we're out for 2 hours, pretty much till 2 in the morning, because we were just taking it in and walking around, just being this is so cool. This is awesome. Just to feel everyone's excitement. No one was doing anything stupid by us, by the way. All the stupid people destroying stuff, that was in Midtown only. It's a small confined group. Unfortunately, a lot of the internet is going to show the only shitty stuff that happened, but there's plenty of areas and boroughs of people, celebrating responsibly. And so people are walking, celebrating, whatever, on top of the cars. We got someone with hydraulics on the car bouncing the car. The police come out and the police, stop the car and hang out with everybody. Right? The police obviously aren't going to do anything, nor is there a reason for them to do anything. So they're out there hanging out with everybody. They're honking the horn, playing the sirens to the music and all the other horns, right? It was great. And we go get pizza. By the way, everywhere was closed, by the way, because it was midnight at this point, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So we're why would you close your bars in restaurants early? Some places were open, but most places were not open, which I'm dude, even though most places are not going to be open till 11 or midnight, depending on where we were. However, if you're smart, leave it open. Adjust your hours for this week or just for the one night. Because if you did, you could get so much business. And so we saw a pizza shop that was open. And bro, it's 1 in the morning and they got pizzas flying off the shelves. We stopped in. I got 2 slices. Zach got a slice. Coco got a slice. We sit down. We got Diet Coke. People are walking in, getting slices. I'm dude, people are out partying till 4, 5, 6 in the morning. But this pizza place, I don't know how long it was open, but it was 1:30 and they were still open, and they're probably making bank, dude. Like lights on, music playing. You know, they were just having, you know, it was literally just like cheese and pepperoni pizza. But people, I imagine, for the whole night were like funneling in. And I was like, whoever's running this place, they know business. Because hundreds, thousands of people outside partying, getting excited, drinking, right? Like, they're, of course, going to get hungry. Who's not going to ask for like a $3, $4 slice of... It's like a fucking slice of pizza, bro. Like, anybody can eat a slice of pizza. Especially if you're out drinking. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing? Right, so thank you to that place. I think it was called Slice. Literally just Slice. Because we were dead hungry. We were fucking starving. We were incredibly hungry. But it was late, so we're like, well, we'll just have to, like, eat food at home, which is fine. But we wanted pizza. We wanted to celebrate. Join in. We didn't drink because it was late, and I didn't want to, feel like shit. I also don't drink that much. But I wanted to partake in the festivities. So I wanted to get a slice, a little Diet Coke, right? But yeah, it was great. It was so fun, man. It was awesome. It was so cool. Like I said, like, I felt like a fraud a little bit, but still, I was just happy to see so many people excited for something and celebrate, and just the smiles on everyone's faces. Like it was so cool, dude. Like, it was like, oh my God. Just all these different people of all ages as well, like from like kids with their parents to old ass people from all different, ages, genders, race, whatever, right? Just, it was like, this is so cool. I was like, this is fucking awesome, dude. We all three of us, me, Zach, and Coco, were like, this is great. It was very, like, it was fun, but it was more so just, I don't know the word. I don't know. You felt good, even if you didn't care about the Knicks. I like basketball and it's exciting, but I think I was more excited just to see so many people rally around something that's all rooted in like positivity, and and obviously, like I said, there's people destroying shit out there, but it was such a small percentage of all the other thousands of people who were celebrating responsibly. But yeah, it was cool, man. It made my heart very happy to see. Let's go Knicks in 5. When's the last time a New York team won an NBA championship? New York Knicks haven't won in 53 years. It's been about 28 years since they were in the finals? Something like that? 53? Yeah, yeah. The New York Unity? Yeah, man, it was cool. It was cool. It's amazing to see everyone brought together. Yeah, it was really heartwarming. Literally, same. The bar I was in went insane. Yeah. In the area I was in, some people got on the roof banging pots and pans. Dude, that's awesome. What up, Trey? How you doing? Glad I survived the Knicks night. Yeah, I was fine. You think places would stay open later? Dude, I know. Like, we're walking down this street, and there's a couple bars open here and there, but we're like, bro. Like, it's free money. Like, have, 2 or 3 people work there if you really need everybody to go home. Or even if you're the owner of the place, just you run it, right? Like if I'm running a restaurant and I don't want to pay my workers overtime, which is shitty, right? Because you're going to make a fuck ton of money on this night anyways. But if you're like a dick, just go in and work it yourself with 2 other people, or whoever else helps run or own the fucking restaurant. You're going to make mad bread. Mad money. Whether it's for water or soda, obviously alcohol, yes, but even if it was fucking water, bro, in a slice of pizza, you're gonna make mad money. People are out there till 5 in the morning. Well, come on, just lock in for one night, put your big boy pants on. I'm sure it's hard to run a restaurant, but yeah, the couple places that did do that, like I said, were very smart. So yeah. Hey man, are you gonna watch the new Laswell trailer? I saw that the cards were out. I'll watch it sometime this week. Yeah, not tonight or tomorrow, but I'll get around to it. That Jalen Brunson guy is something. Jalen Brunson is different, man. I saw my girlfriend is a diehard Knicks fan, so I'm now biased. Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's hard to run a restaurant? Oh yeah, I know. I'm sure it is very difficult to run a restaurant. So, yeah. Even though I'm you should keep it open, but Yeah, yo, Sleepy, what's up, man? There's a lot that goes into it, so I don't really know what it was. But shout out to the places that did stay open. That was a good idea. But Jalen Brunson, I saw a tweet. They were like, I ran out of honey, so we're pouring chocolate syrup on it. It was so funny. All the tweets were so good. Like, they were so funny, dude. God, I like Twitter. There's some times throughout the year where Twitter is genuinely like the best app or best thing to be looking at for like an hour, right? There's not many times ever in your life where you would want to be looking at Twitter willingly. But this was one of those times where it's like, this is the greatest 1 hour of social media I've ever seen in my life. From the tweets or the videos or the pictures, it's like, holy shit. This is awesome. This is awesome. It is so cool, dude. It was so funny. Twitter's the best or the worst app ever? Yeah, no, it's either this is the single greatest app of all time or this is literally the worst, most depressing thing I've ever been on in my life. Yeah, pretty much. Some of the tweets there, I should have saved some to look through, but it was good. But yeah, that was the weekend, chat, in New York. Hold up, 1 second. The lighting's mad weird. There we go. The lighting is mad weird. But yeah. Okay. Okay. Are we good to go? Talk about New York. Talk about Distant Worlds. Squeaky mic. Sorry about that. Is that everything? What else do I want to talk about? Also, chat, I look crazy, by the way, because I was traveling all day today. Traveling all day today. And then I had dinner with family. So, I am dead tired. I unpacked. Excuse me. Unpacked. Made a list of things to do this week. Had to go out to eat. I didn't have to. It was nice to hang out with my family. But it's been a busy-ass fucking 2 weeks, man. Also, wait, hold up. Before we talk about the FF7 stuff, Coco looked like she got a haircut. She did. She got her hair cut way shorter than she would have usually gotten it cut, but she looks very beautiful. I'm a big fan of it. Tomb Raider stuff. So at SGF, I got to play Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis. And was it Friday? I think it was Thursday. Thursday, the embargo lifted. So I made a video about it, which I didn't know the embargo was lifting on Thursday. So it was a little late in the day, but I did get to play it. I made a video talking about it. But that was fun. It was cool. In my video, I kind of talk about, like, it's very early on, and I'll give you guys a quick, like, 5-minute or less than 5-minute rundown before we hop into the FF7 stuff. So I played 30 minutes, or it was an hour session, but I played for about 30 minutes of the Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, the remake of the original one. And it was pre-alpha, and it was fun. It looked really good, but it was 30 frames. And so I never played a Tomb Raider game before. So this is my first time playing this. And so I didn't know what to expect when I went in. I was very excited, regardless. But I went in, excited to play it. 30 frames was a bit rough, pre-alpha, so it's very early. But I had a good time. My video will explain this much better because it also has B-roll to show you guys like what was going on. But let's pull it up real quick. But it was cool. It looked really good. As you can see, it looks mad good. But my biggest gripes, which you don't have to look at my stupid face. My biggest gripes was that the animations were kind of funky in that it kind of felt weird to control. It wasn't super smooth. But that's just because it was pre-alpha. This game got delayed till February of next year, and it definitely needs the time. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that the game's going to suck when it comes out. Like, once again, pre-alpha is pre-alpha. You know, after alpha comes the beta. After beta comes the full game. So we are, like, 4 steps back before the game is in a playable, like, releasable state. So, of course, it's going to have a lot or some things wrong here and there. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was fun. I'm very excited for the full release. It definitely has got some improvement on like the animation department, which is like a really tiny nitpick. The puzzles seem cool. Definitely hard, I will say. I didn't know that in the original game, it doesn't really hold your hand at all and like basically doesn't tell you where to go at all. And in my review, I was like, I didn't know where to go. And I don't need to know where to go. But from like a standpoint of other players and accessibility and like how so many people nowadays are so specific on like, I don't know what to do, right? It's hard to find out where to go. And there is white paint and moss in the game, as you can see in this clip here. Like right here. Which kind of gives you an idea of what to do and what to climb, but it's very subtle. So it's not like obnoxious yellow paint. And I think that's good. However, in my video, I was like, yeah, I think that's good for me, but I'm not really sure how that will go over with a lot of people because even, you know, I know some people don't like the yellow paint, but it is still helpful, and there's a reason that that's a thing in video games. So that was the thing. It wasn't really a complaint. I thought it was cool, but I was like, I don't really know how to feel about this because I don't know how it's going to go over with like the general audience. But from the comments of the video, it seems like that is a good thing. Is that it needs to be, I guess, hard or it really makes you want to explore. So that's a great thing. Puzzles were cool. You had a little scanner, so as you're walking around, you can scan stuff that will give you like a little hint of what to do. So that was interesting. There's stuff you could pick up on the ground. You could jump mad far. The combat was cool, fighting the freaking dinosaurs, dude. Like, when you're fighting the velociraptors, you got the dual-wield pistols, and so to dodge, there's a dodge, but there's also, like, a backflip and a front flip and, like, a side flip, and you go into, like, a bullet-time slow-motion mode, which that was really sick. It wasn't the most smoothest thing. Once again, it was a little janky here and there, but hey, pre-alpha, it's going to get fixed later on, or it probably is fixed at this point anyways. Like, I don't think a lot of people know, when you have a game that's going to be at something like Summer Games Fest, of course you want it to be playable in the best it can be, because you're showing it off, because first impressions are huge, especially for media and like big, you know, places that do coverage. However, that takes time to prepare, and so sometimes companies, depending on how far they are in on the development process, they have to like kind of specifically make like a demo. They can't just be like, okay, this part of the game we're just going to take out and people can play it. Like, a lot of times, because video game development isn't linear, they have to find a section, like fine-tune that section, you know, maybe add things or take certain things away so that it flows nicely for the playtesters or for the hands-on people. So I'm sure this part wasn't fully complete and they had to do some things here and there. However, it was fun, man. There was a loading screen between the first and second section, and unfortunately, I don't know if this is true or not, so don't like take my word for it, but it did look like they were doing a little generative AI for some placeholder loading screens, which is like, hey, if it's removed from the full game, fine, that's great. However, sucks that it's being used. A little unfortunate, but at the end of the day, most of the industry is going to be using it in the coming months and years, and it's going to be something that you'll kind of just have to be like, well, hopefully it's not in the final game release, and if it is, then, you know, that's when you can make your decision if you purchase the game or not. But a lot of companies, even as we saw with Crazy Taxi and Sega, they're going to use it in the like pre-development process. So I'm sure that'll be removed, but that sucked. But it's, you know, you can only harp on that for so long. But along with that, yeah, like I said, the combat was cool. It looked really good. I'm excited to play it. I reached out to the devs and I was like, hey, had a great time. Look forward to the full release, and I hope to keep in touch with you guys. But it was cool, man. It was pretty cool. I felt like a kid during Christmas. Like, being able to play a game early was... I don't like playing any game early is cool, but being at like this event with all these developers and publishers standing and watching you, I'm like, oh my god, this is sick. Because I got up and I finished the demo and I talked to the lady there who worked, and she was very sweet. And I just asked, like, you know, what they're kind of like doing right now with the game, and like what she did on the dev team, and told her about like, oh, I'm sorry about the delay. Like, I'm sure, you know, if you need the time, you need the time. So I hope that you guys, will keep working hard and get the product out on a timely manner, and that it's not, you're not rushing it, because, I'd rather wait super long for a great game because the demo was fun and, you're cooking up some good stuff. So I said it in a more eloquent way, but they were very nice to talk to. Did you see the interview where the devs talked about Gen AI? I did not see the interview, no. I haven't really looked at anything else for the game coverage that wasn't... Well, I haven't looked at much else. Because I left... Was it Thursday? So I wasn't home. As soon as I made this video, I had to leave. So... I was like, I had no time. When I got back from SGF Tuesday, I've been so busy. Hence why I'm going to finally look at the Revelation stuff tonight. Because I just haven't had time. And, it's been a week and a half since this shit got shown off. But, I can actually finally look at it in full depth. But, no, did they say anything specific that's, noteworthy other than them saying they're using it in, the pre-production, before the final... Or not pre-production, but, production, but it will be removed by the time the game fully comes out, or is there, a different statement that I didn't see? I probably missed it, but that's as far as I saw. I haven't really been keeping up with all the, SGF news from other places, because I just haven't had time, unfortunately. The PR people off-screen stopped them because it really sounded like there's a lot. Yeah. There was the disclaimer on the website, I think, that Amazon had up, after SGF happened. After the showcase happened, so... It sucks, man. The PR people off-screen, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't ask when I was there, and I said that in the video, I could have asked, but... I don't know. I was more interested to hear about the developers and what they're working on and their experience rather than Gen AI this, Gen AI that, which is nothing wrong with wanting to know about that and getting the news on that, because that is important. But for me, I was like, you know what? Somebody else will ask those questions and figure those things out. I'm going to just focus on the people here. Because at the end of the day, I could be wrong here. I'm assuming a lot of, the Gen AI stuff is probably a push from Amazon. And once again, I could be totally wrong. This could be literally, a director, producer, developer thing. But the game was supposed to come out this year, right? It originally said 2026. And now, with it being delayed to February, maybe it was, a late November 2026 date. But them even having it as 2026 X amount of months ago when they first showed it off, to now delay it to February of next year, I'm like, damn, dude. They must have really needed the time. And it must have been an Amazon push to be like, hey, get the game out this year, because the new one comes out next year. We needed to have a nice amount of time in between releases. And so maybe they turned to that stuff for that, which I'm sure was way earlier in the development process, not, something that they just decided to do 6 months ago, because that's not how making video games work. But I don't know. Yeah, I could be totally wrong, but it's interesting. I'm guessing it's corporate pushing from Amazon or Embracer, owner of CD. Yeah. That was that's the optimistic hope. Not that that's, something to be optimistic about, but a best case of the worst evils, or whatever the hell you want to call it, Where it's if it's being used, no matter what in this sense, hopefully the best case scenario for this unfortunate circumstance is that it was a push from higher ups. Not that that's good, but at least it's hey, the developers are passionate about their art and what they're making, and they're only doing so much of what they can do before the CEO boot steps on them, right? But yeah, we'll never know, probably, unless there's a big thing that comes out, but I just doubt it. Amazon's probably pretty tight-lipped on that shit. The studio clarified that they only use it in preliminary visualization tool to iterate on ideas. Gotcha. Yeah. I think that's what's important. Is at the end of the day, if it all comes out and it's crafted by humans, I think that's what matters. But it still sucks a bit, But I could tell, man, when I was playing the demo, like I said in the video, after that initial section where you're doing the puzzle stuff, let me pull up the FF7 stuff here. There's a loading screen. And so in the trailer, they show a cutscene that is similar to the loading screen. And so pretty much the loading screen in the demo we played was probably just like a storyboard kind of like thing of multiple images to show us where Lara was heading, so that then in the demo when we arrived at the Velociraptor T-Rex area, the player would know. So there would have been a cutscene in between those two sections, but for the sake of the demo, since it's so early, they don't have a cutscene ready, right? So what it was multiple loading screens, storyboards, whatever, of her doing stuff. But those were very clearly a couple of them that I saw. Like, I didn't want to sit there and inspect it because I wanted to fucking play the demo that I was there to play. You could see some of the inscriptions were like the gibberish, you know what I mean? Like if you're doing, hold up, Temple Run AI. Let's just look up Temple Run AI. And I'm sure that there'll be some crazy random image of like an AI generated thing of Temple Run, right? Like, I don't fucking, what the fuck am I looking at, bro? What the hell has happened to Google? Whatever this is, right? Well, this is maybe a bad example. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at right now, I'm not gonna lie. But you see like bad example, but you see like the inscriptions here on the pillar, you can barely see it. Stuff like that, like small details in the loading screen. They had a big wall of like carvings at one of the temples that Lara was at. You couldn't, it was not legible, but you know, it is what it is. I've talked about it enough. Okay, talk about it enough. Like I said, probably just early storyboarding stuff for the cutscenes, and they just showed it to us there. But if you want to read up on it, I'm sure there's other articles. I was just a guy to play some games. I was there. I was excited to be there. First time SGF. Next time I go, I'll definitely be on top of some things with like questions. I was just so hyped. I was like, this is so cool. Like, this is awesome. I get to play games and talk to developers and get free food and play games early. Like, this is so cool. This is so I was not prepared, bro. Not at all. I had no like when I finished a lot of the demos and the devs would walk up to me, I'd ask them what their name was, ask them what the position at the company is. Like, if you're a dev, what did you work on? Like, what did you enjoy? Like, basic questions. But that was pretty much it. Pretty much it for me, because I was too scared. One, too scared, or two, did not prepare like actual thoughtful questions, because I just didn't even think I was going to be able to get in and get access that weekend. So I was like all over the place. But like I said, next time I go next year, because I'm definitely going to be able to go, or hopefully be able to go next year, I'll have like actual questions that I can ask the developers to really, get some stuff out of them. You be a good journalist? Probably not. Probably not. Like, dude, I hung out with Wade, Professor Noctis. Not a lot, because he was busy with his own stuff with his co-host, Evan. I appreciate the compliment, though. But hearing him and Evan talk to the publishers and the developers about questions they had, or just looping in, like, things they were seeing from these demos with what they do, or what they could do on their show, or what Wade could do at his job as a professor, was insane. Like, I've told him already, so I glaze that man, or both of them, all the time at this point. I never met Evan. I met Evan for the first time over the weekend 2 weeks ago. He was extremely nice. Everybody was that weekend. But, dude, like, I sat in on one of their appointments, listening to them talk to the developers, and I was like, bro. Now they're older than me, which doesn't really matter, but, like, they've had more experience doing this before in the past, so, I'm not going to feel too bad, because they know what they're doing very clearly. But I was like, this is crazy. This is so impressive. They can, like, jump from conversation to conversation with the developers about a question they have, and then ask them a question, and then use that answer from that question on another question. Like, it was just incredible people skills, and just thoughtful things to say. And I'm like, damn. All I ask is, so, what did you work on the game? You You did level design? That's so cool. Like, what's your favorite level? Like, what, bro? What am I talking about, dude? What the fuck are you talking about? What is it? What? Like, it wasn't exactly that, but when I was playing Aliens Fireteam 2, I was talking to Jacob. He was one of the main guys for the story and the lore for the game, which Aliens Fireteam 2, by the way, one of my most anticipated games for the rest of the year. It was extremely fun. So shout out Jacob, but I was talking to him and I was just like, you know, asking questions about the game and like, you know, certain things about the lore. But I was like struggling. I was like, I really want to talk to this guy because it's really interesting and this is such a cool experience and like his job is so awesome, for lack of a better term. But I was like, I don't know what to ask, you know? Like I'm sitting here playing this game and I want to pay attention to the game and take this in as well. But I also want to entertain this guy with questions because this is like a once in a year, once in a lifetime experience. But next time I go, I'll have like a journal or something, you know, or hopefully I'll have like an extra person to go with because I went by myself. So maybe next year I'll have a +1. So maybe Coco will go with me because Coco's an incredibly personable person. So she could definitely help. It's easier when you have two people to bounce off of as well. So hopefully next year if I go, she can go, and then, you know, that'll be a nice combination because I don't know. But yeah, the SGF talk. We talked about it a lot last week. Don't compare. They have plenty of practice. That's true. I'm not comparing. Like, I'm not, like, actually sad about it. But it's more of, like, a comparison to be like, yo, this is so impressive. I want to grow up and be like them. I want to be like them when I grow up. You know? It's true. They're very nice. Prof Noctis is, you guys should watch his stuff. He's really cool, man. Like, his content's great, and his YouTube videos are really great, but he's a fucking great time to talk to as well. He's smart as shit, so. But yeah. But like, sometimes the owl will train them and give them the prompts, not necessarily off the dome. They got a lot of help. Well, yeah. But okay. Final Fantasy 7, is it time? Is it time? Dude, I look fucking crazy, bro. I look fucking crazy. Holy shit. Look at my hair. I look fucking crazy. You look hot, bro. That's very nice. Appreciate it. I'm not fishing for compliments, though. But that is cool. Even if you say that, I still feel like I look crazy. But thank you regardless. I promise. Okay, FF7 talk. Here we go. All right, I'm not casting the line. No. No, I'm not. I'm literally not, bro. I'm not. I need to stop saying bro. I say bro too many times. Like, I always, like, whoever says bro, like, I hate when people say bro. But now I say it unironically all the time. Constantly, bro. Shut the fuck up, Jordan, bro. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. I feel you, bro. Like, it's bad. Like, I feel like one of those frat guys. And I'm not. I was never in a frat. Never wanted to be in a frat. Like, it's not me at all. I stayed home and played games all day. Bro, what the fuck am I saying? It's a filler word? It is a filler word. Bro. No. All right, FF7. So, okay, before we get into FF7, we're going to watch the gameplay or reveal trailer and the gameplay introduction, and then we're going to look at all of the information we know about it. Okay? Because, chat, I got to prep for tomorrow. Like I said in the beginning of the stream, I'm going to be on Baby Seal's stream with Nico and Prof, speaking of the devil, talking about FF7. So I got to take time finally, after so long, to look at this trailer when, you know, I am not rushing to leave for Los Angeles and rushing to leave for the airport. So I can finally sit and look at all the 10 billion things Hamaguchi has had to say. And we can make some predictions and inferences about what the game has to offer. I'm not a theory bro. even though that term is crazy. I'm not like one to theorize about the story really, because that's not really my territory. I'm more so here to talk about the news and get excited and talk about stuff that I would like to see for the gameplay or whatever. So I'm not going to be able to really give some crazy theories. That's for tomorrow for the other people. But I got to look at all the shit, man. But before that, I made this TikTok the other day. Before we get into the actual like trailer stuff, for Revelation, and I just want to say, the internet is crazy. The internet is crazy. So I made this. Let's watch real quick. This is going to DMCA my stream, but it is what it is. So Coco came up with this last night. The biggest Aerith fan literally ever. She was like, this would be funny. Cloud, obviously in Revelation, is going to be going crazy with the Aerith Force Ghosts, right? Maybe if she does, if she doesn't. And so this is her idea, and she directed and filmed this. So this is pretty much 95% of the credit goes to her. So shout out. But I posted this, and I was like, this is so funny. Like, Cloud's going to be like this during Revelation, right? Obviously, if you know me, I love Aerith. I love everybody. The whole FF7 cast is, like, literally all favorite characters of all time in video games. They're all amazing. And so I posted it. We'll never forget you, Aerith, right? Because she's awesome. She's great. I mean, I can't wait to see what they do with her in Revelation. I am very, very excited. Okay? Right? Cool. Boom. Baseline done. What up, Miss Fullbuster? How you doing? But I had to put underneath because I knew this was going to happen. No slander will be tolerated for any of the FF7 cast, or you will be blocked. Unfortunately, that's what has to be done nowadays. But I had to put it under the post because for FF7 stuff that I've made in the past, whether that's about Aerith or Tifa or anything in general, it's always some shipping shit, bro. I'm like, dude, people in the comments are like, but what about XYZ, Tifa, blah, blah, and I'm just like, bro, I love Tifa. Trust me. Tifa was my day one. When I played Remake for the first time, I was like, that she's the one, okay? All right, I'm like, trust me, guys. I love Tifa. I love all the characters. They're all the best. Like, okay, yes, right, cool. But people are getting in it in the comments on they're like, oh, like I think Cloud and Aerith or Cloud Tifa. I'm like, dude, this has nothing to do with any of the ships. Nothing. This is about what happened at the end of Rebirth and what probably will kind of happen a bit in Revelation, right? I was like, guys, like, thanks for the interactions and for the reel is now doing even better because people are fighting in the comments, which I don't like. However, I'm like, thanks, I guess, because, oh my God, there's a reply with like 40 replies, dude. It is crazy. It is so crazy. It is so crazy. That's why I put this disclaimer in the thing, because I was like, I know people will slander either Tifa or Aerith, because usually if you make something about Tifa or Aerith with Cloud involved in any way, or Zack, unfortunately, it's not all the time. It's a very few amount of people. They will make fun of like one of the other characters at the expense of, the other characters. And I'm just like, I know they're fake. They're not real people, right? Like I'm not like feeling bad and getting sad. Like, oh my God, you're making fun of my video game character. Like, that's not the case. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to be, or to people to interact with my stuff or like be in my community, right? If they watch the reel, they think it's funny, they join the stream. Cool. That happens with some people. I don't want people who are going to comment and say like, call like these characters, especially the women characters, because that shit is really bad around Tifa and Aerith, unfortunately, is like, all these different names, and I'm just like, bro. That's why I had to put this in the thing, because I'm like, I don't, like, get out. like if you're calling Tifa and Aerith all, like there's a list of names, right, of all these different things, and then you're like talking about Cloud and all the, I'm just like, dude, no. The misogyny is going crazy. And I'm not saying it's only men or only women, right? I'm not, none of that bullshit. I'm just saying, oh my God, just stop. Just stop. This is about Cloud and Aerith. Nothing about if they're together or not. The game, part 3 can end and Cloud and Tifa could have children. But this reel will still be the same. Or Aerith will come back and Aerith and Cloud will have children. It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is, like, this has nothing to do with it. Oh my God, and there's people still in the comments arguing. Like, dude. God, why? It's so sad. It's so sad, man. I'm like, yeah. I don't know. I had to bring it up for a second because it just yeah. And nothing wrong with your preferences either. Like, if you like Cloud and Aerith or Cloud and Tifa, like, dude, go ahead, right? Like, that's the fun of video games and the internet, is like, you like these characters, you want them to be together. You can make videos about them, talk about them, make art about them. That's awesome, right? If I see Clarith art or Cloud and Aerith or Cloud and Tifa art, I because I love FF7, I love all of the characters in general, I will like and retweet this stuff, not because it's like a shipping thing, it's just because I love the game. You know what I mean? Like, I just love Cloud, and I love Aerith, and I love Zack, I love Bear, I love everybody. I love the whole cast. So if I see it, I'm gonna interact with it because I think it's cool, right? But it has nothing to do with the ships, right? Like Coco, my girlfriend, loves Aerith, right? And she ships Cloud and Aerith. But she's not like crazy about it. Like, she likes videos and she sends me videos and, and art, and I've gotten art of Clarith for her because that's what she loves. But like, and I've cosplayed Cloud when she was Aerith, and I've cosplayed Cloud when she was Tifa. But it's just like, dude, can these characters not coexist with each other and interact with each other and do things together without it turning into like some sort of like hot topic of who is with who, you know what I mean? Because I think the funnest part is that it's not real, is that you can come up with anything you want, right? Like, if I'm playing a game and I disagree with someone's opinion on it, right? Like, I'm sure tomorrow on the podcast or show, whatever, with Clark, Baby Seal, Professor Noctis, and Nico, I'm sure they'll have opinions about the game in theories and all these things about the game that I will disagree with, right? And I'm sure that I'll come up with stuff that they might disagree with, right? But does that mean I'm going to call them names or not want to talk to them? No. I think that's actually really exciting. Because isn't it fun to bounce off, like, if I have a really stark opinion about a certain, about something happening in Revelation, for example, and then Wade has a very stark opinion, and we both say it, and we both disagree heavily, where I'm like, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, which I wouldn't say that. But if I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me, if that happened, I would not like that. I will gladly accept that. Like, I'll be like, you know what, this is awesome. Because then from us talking about those two varying opinions, then maybe we could come up with either something that we agree on, that could be like a mix or like a mosh of the two to lead to something cooler. Or we can then maybe adjust our own varying opinions that maybe we'll still disagree, but maybe they'll be a bit different because I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. That's a good idea. Like, oh, that's true. I didn't even think about it like that, Not that that has to happen every single time. I'm just saying it baffles my mind that there's like people get so into it online about this stuff, and about like who's right and who's not right. And I'm just like, it doesn't matter who's right and who's not right, right? Just enjoy what you enjoy. If you're right, you're right. If you're like, it's not, it's like this is a dick fucking size competition, Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to keep going on about it. It's just, it makes me sad. I love the game. I love the characters. I love, all the things that happen in it. And it's just like, I just want to see the game. I'm just excited for this thing. And I want to share that excitement. And I just don't want to take part in the conversations because those people just get very mean and hurtful. I know it's the internet, and I know that's how that's how it is, right? Unfortunately, that's just, you're going to have to deal with it, right? I'm not going to say that I'm going to sit here and cry in a corner and hide, because that's not going to happen. That's just, it's unrealistic. But I don't know. I don't know, man. No one's being mean to me. No. I'm just talking about like shipping stuff. It just makes me sad, right? Like I said, I've posted cosplay pictures with Coco, and we've, talked about, like, she likes to ship stuff, and whatever we've talked about it, I've talked about it, and whatever, right? Doesn't mean I'm immune to it, or in the past, I haven't interacted with people who ship these characters, which is fine. Like, that's okay, and there's no problem with that. I'm just saying, like, if I'm posting a video where, like, people are talking about certain things, it is exhausting to, like, have that be brought up in the topic, and then it kind of whittles down to that without any other, like, nuance around anything else around the conversation. So it sucks. But yeah, having Aerith be Joker in Arkham Knight would be sick, by the way. Aside from everything else, bro, Aerith being Joker in Arkham Knight, where Joker follows Batman, and obviously he's only in his head and is, like, talking to him, would be so good. Yo, 57-1. Holy shit. Thank you so much for the tier 1. Obviously, Joker is, like, terrorizing Batman. So Aerith would not be terrorizing Batman. Okay? But her being in his head and, like, helping him, but at some time maybe not helping him, because if Sephiroth or Genova takes over at certain points, right, depending on the point in the game and depending on maybe, like, this is pre-reunion Cloud or post-reunion Cloud, that would be cool, man. Like, I'm going to say this tomorrow in the show, is that I think throughout the game, the player, whether you're playing as Cloud or any of the cast as Tifa or even Zack, because Zack may be playable for a big portion of the game with the main cast potentially, I think they're going to have some Lily, like, live stream, like, Lily flower spots around the map, just like in the church, that when you go to, maybe after a certain point in the game, with Zack or Cloud or whoever you're controlling as, because I'm assuming it would be the whole cast, because, everybody a part of the cast loves Aerith and has connected with Aerith at one point. Maybe specifically only Tifa and Cloud, because they have, had connections to the live stream. I think there'll be a quest in different areas that, like, you'll, like, find the spot, kind of like the springs in Rebirth, and Chadley, like, he says, like, a fact in your ear. I think you'll, as the character, interact with these Lily zones, and then maybe you get some sort of flashback or callback or thing. Maybe Aerith talks to you, or some sort of live stream, like, flash in your head or dream, or, like, something that resembles Aerith or the live stream, or in something to do with her. Maybe that references, like, Advent Children or something that plays, and there will be zones throughout the game that will kind of, like, lead you to things, and then once you collect all of them, that could potentially alter like, not the ending of the game, but, like, things in the game. Because we know from Hamaguchi, he was like, hey, you're going to have to play the game multiple times to see different things, right? Which is cool. I think that's a good thing. Like, you'll be able to miss stuff. Like, if you don't do everything in your first run, you'll miss things. And even if you do everything in your first run, you'll probably still miss things. So I think having that be a thing with, like, the flowers or something, because Cloud in the trailer, bends down and he looks at the flower and touches it, and you hear him speak to it. He's like, I won't fail you again, or whatever he says. I haven't watched the trailer in a while. I think that'd be cool. I'll talk about it tomorrow on the show and see what everyone else thinks about that, and see if they have any ideas based off that, because we kind of talked about it last week at SGF when I was with them in person. But I don't know. That would be kind of sick, man. I can't wait to see what they do with Aerith, though, in Part 3. I'm very excited. Like, I'm sure she won't have a huge role like she did in Rebirth. I think I loved how she was handled in Rebirth. But I'm sure she'll play a role. Because, dude, even in the original game, she plays a huge role. Like, even in the OG, after she dies, she still plays a huge role throughout the whole game. Like, some people, like, do they not remember that? When you go back to the Forgotten City and you look at the crystal ball with Bugenhagen, Cloud watches, flashbacks of her again. And at the end of the game, she shows up. And there's moments throughout the game where Cloud has, stuff with the live stream. Even post-reunion Cloud, like, he still thinks about her. It's like, she's going to have a big role still. And that's exciting to me. I don't know, man. That's cool. That's cool. I can't wait for that. And I hope they don't show a lot of it off. I hope that Square keeps it on the low, because I'm worried that they will spoil a lot of it. But I'm glad they showed nothing of her or Zack. I don't want to know shit about Zack, because I'm not going to lie, I think Zack in Rebirth is the worst part about that game. The way he's handled is the worst part, hands down, which doesn't make the game worse. Um, I have very little complaints about Rebirth, but that is the biggest one where I just feel like he's kind of pointless. Like, obviously, he helps and pushes the story forward with the big stuff and with, kind of explaining the stamp timelines, multiverse, whatever the fuck you want to call it, a little bit, right? He helps a little bit. But I feel like he was underutilized in that they could have either taken him out of the game as a whole, and I would have been like, cool, or they should have just gave him way more time. So Part 3, Revelation, seemingly he's going to have a much bigger role, which is exciting because that was my only issue with Rebirth was like, just stop. You're like tickling our balls. Like you're really sitting there and like, oh, look, here's some Zack. Cuts away. 3 hours later, boom, more Zack. It's like, bro, stop. And the game ends and you're like, that's it? That's all of the Zack? Are you serious? And so, yeah, that's an issue of mine, but they'll fix it, hopefully. So, well, they have to. It's the fucking final game, dude. Final part. So I don't have to put anyone down? No, you do not. No. No. I was just talking about the comments. Most of them are fine. There's like 2 or 3 where I'm just like, come on, guys. Let's be civil. Let's just be civil about stuff, man. About the shipping stuff. But it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not immune to it either. I've posted some stuff too with Coco, my girlfriend, as Aerith, and would do like the hashtag Clarith and stuff or whatnot because she likes to ship the characters. But I'll never or have never attacked someone or discredited their opinion for who they like. So I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But I'm a Zackaholic. The more the merrier. I've never been a Zack Fair fan, really. I always kind of think he's just meh. But it's like I don't know. This the stereotypical like shonen pro tag thing he's got going on. Not for me. I know that is the point of his character, is like in this world of all these damaged characters that have gone through so much and continue to go through so much, he's all happy-go-lucky. He's obviously gone through stuff as well, but the way he's portrayed outwardly towards everybody is like, oh, like I'm Zack Fair, and I like vanilla ice cream and pizza, and I really love orange juice in the morning with my 1 egg and toast for breakfast, and come give me a hug, like that's who he is. So I just think he lacks a bit of depth compared to everybody else, and so I'm just like, I don't really care for him too much. But that's why I'm really hoping they go all out with him in Revelation, because I'm like, I don't pussyfoot with him anymore. It's like if you do, which they won't, but if they do, it's gonna feel like a waste of time in the end. So I really want to feel like his character has gone through something, even though he's already died. Like he's died already. Like he died in Crisis Core, came back somehow. He lost Aerith in his arms in Rebirth. So like he's been through it. Don't get me wrong, but all these things that he's been through are things that he's kind of like we've kind of come to terms with already in like previous, like in the original game or in Crisis Core. Or the game kind of like alludes to that, like he's already encountered this, so this is like weird that he's doing this thing again. So I want some like new things to happen there. I'm like, oh, like okay, like I can visually see him going through this thing or like coming to terms with something or coping with this thing that is like new to him and new to us as we experience that with him. So I don't know. I need him to no, I don't need him to suffer more. No, I don't need him to suffer more. I just want to see some sort of growth with his character. It doesn't have to be just pain and suffering. It could be him doing like, it could be him hanging out with like the crew. Like when Cloud is passed out, like when he's MIA out of service in the half of Part 3 that he will probably be out of service for, if Zack is somehow with the main squad and takes Cloud's place and we go around, doing part of the story with Zack and like everyone's interacting with him, that would be cool. Because then we'll get to see the contrast of like, okay, how did Cloud interact in like emotionally with everybody and like physically like help them out and like change things and like lead the way, whatever. And then now we can see, okay, how does Zack handle all those things, right? Like, I think it'd be interesting to see the difference of, like, okay, this is what Cloud would do. Now we get to see kind of how Zach handles it, and then also the rest of the party could be like, oh, this is so interesting. Like, Cloud does that as well, or Cloud doesn't do that, and I don't like how you do that, Zach, or the way you do that, comparing it to Cloud. Like, it would be this big comparison, seeing in, like, the characters' faces and, like, how they emotionally act throughout the game. How different Cloud and Zach are, but how much of the same they are, and then that would help also Zach grow as a character. And then once Cloud comes back as his normal full self again, like when post-reunion, then it'd be like, oh my god, like, now we have this comparison of old Cloud, what Zach was like, and new Cloud, and then it's like all this stuff working together. I don't know. I think that'd be cool, and then really give like a deeper view of like all the main characters with everybody, and then that would maybe help them understand or sympathize or empathize, whatever, with Cloud more once he's back. You know, obviously the basic like life, like the thing with the live stream and, you know, Cloud talking to them and him letting them know everything that he does in the original game once he's back to himself is gonna be great. But having that extra comparison, I think, would be cool. Because I don't know. Okay, let's watch the trailer again and look at the interview stuff. I'm already talking about stuff, but let me write that down actually, because I got to write stuff down for tomorrow, because I know, like I said, I know Clark and Wade and Nico are going to have mad stuff to talk about and be hella insightful and be like, I have this is a crazy, look at this idea. And I'm going to be like, yeah, that's smart. I'm going to be like, I don't fucking know. I'm sure I'll disagree on some things too, which is actually exciting because I want to, we got make it a little spicy, you know? Let's get some spice in there. But let me write that down. Zach, because most people, I think even them included, have been like, yeah, Zach will probably join the party and take Cloud's place for a part of the game. But I think I'll see how they feel about, like, if he's with us for that long and how that would affect everybody. Zach joining the party and, oh my gosh, excuse me, and seeing the comparison and pre-reunion Cloud and also post-reunion Cloud and how party compares them to each other would help the party learn more about everyone, and also things maybe Cloud never told them that Zach knows. Okay. All right. Zach does a 4D chess speedrun on existence itself, becomes self-aware, realizes he's in a remake trilogy, forgives the writer's fate in the U.S., then pulls over the thing. Now we're doing character development. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. That's exactly what's going to happen. Okay. Okay, here we go. Chat, here we go. The ultimate, and now I'm not going to spend 5 hours talking about this. I got to go to bed in a couple hours. Final Fantasy VII Revelation. This is going to be the ultimate overview of everything, or almost everything, that is available about the game right now. So John Q sent this to me. Shout out John, the GOAT. This is, I guess, what Max looked at on his stream. But this is like a culmination, compilation, whatever, of not everything, but almost everything from the abysmal amount of interviews and reviews that Hamaguchi did from Summer Games Fest Friday all throughout the past week. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is insano. And so I think this is the links to everything, but then this here is pretty much a summary of everything without repeats. So I'm going to look at this, and then maybe I'll look at some other interviews specifically one by one to get a deeper look at it, because I think a lot of this stuff is, like, very paraphrased. So I'd like to see a bit more in depth of maybe what Hamaguchi has to say about certain things. However, we'll look at this first after we rewatch the trailer, because there's a lot. There's a lot, dude. Let's just go. let's rewatch the trailer, okay? We'll do reveal, and we'll hop to gameplay, and then we'll go from there. We'll go from there. I haven't watched this since last week. I watched it on the reveal, rewatched it on stream afterwards, then I had to leave for the airport. And then I think did I yap about this last week? I don't know if I did. I might have, but I might have been too tired. All right, let's go.
A shadow fell upon our planet.
A little bit? Okay.
Guided by calamity, one man sought dominion through reunion.
Bro. Dude!
By his will, a star fell.
Jesus.
A meteor called forth to bring ruin to all. But our planet answered, awakening mighty weapons to stand against this.
The animation is
threat.
Insane.
Now, hope
bro,
endures.
like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pause it a little bit. Because, dude.
And against this celestial threat.
Bro, so this has got to be the opening scene, right?
Awaken, but our planet.
This has to be the opening scene.
Awakening mighty
like not opening, but like this is like the first hour or two.
Celestial threat. Now.
Oh, there's all the dudes. Bro. This is so cool. I'm so excited. I get to actually sit here and take it in now.
Now.
Look how crispy everything looks. Oh my god.
Hope endure.
Hold up, chat. Yeah, we got everybody with us.
Endures in those who fight.
It looks so good. Look at Tifa. Oh my god. Look at Tifa. Oh my god. Look at Barrett. Oh, I love Barrett. Barrett's so cool, man. He needs more love. I don't think Barrett gets the love he deserves.
Long story short, the world's in trouble. It has been for a while.
So what are we waiting for? Let's give Sephiroth the beating of a lifetime.
Fortnite. Medial. Blue tie.
You're mine.
Jesus, man. Gal, dude, I want bro. Vincent, I want him to show me. He can show me his Galleon beast. Holy. What the hell?
Good night.
Can I get an amen?
The sky's the limit.
God, Sid looks so cool, man.
I could do this.
Tifa with the black mage dress.
I'll make you proud.
Dude, she looks so good. Cloud looks kind of chopped cheese, not gonna lie. I know I keep pausing and I'm sorry, but he looks a little chopped. Tifa, though. Stunning, perfect, beautiful, amazing, right? No notes. Not really sure what's going on with the knee pads with Cloud. Not my favorite, but, you know, it's okay.
Oh my, is that a weapon I see?
As far as I can tell, these things don't distinguish between friends
Jesus
and
Christ.
foes.
Save the planet by killing her protectors.
Dude, look how good. Oh my god.
The planet by killing her protectors.
Dude, look how cool. Oh my god, look at freaking Ruby, dude. Look at that shit. Bro. This looks like one of those like UE5 like Pokemon. But which is usually would be a non-compliment. That'd be a diss or whatever the fuck. But that's a compliment. Look, like you can see the striations of muscle on his arm. Holy. It looks so cool, dude. An insult? Yeah, thank you. Sorry. My brain's going crazy. It's a long week, long 2 weeks.
Let us put your faith to the test, Cloud.
Travis Willingham, new Sephiroth. Wait, that's all they show? I forgot the reveal trailer shows so little compared to the gameplay trailer. Revelation, bro. And then look at like you can it's like the classic logo coloring. Because obviously Rebirth had the red and you know, Remake had like the darker blue. This has the light blue, white kind of vibe. Like the original logo. But also white materia, maybe.
Never would have made it this far without you guys. And I won't let you down.
Dude!
I
Dude!
promise.
Cody, I love you. Dude! Dude, maybe I'm overthinking it, but I really hope there's one Aerith, like, Lily patch throughout the world. And the way this quest starts is that, or maybe it's a main thing, but probably not a main thing. Or maybe it's like, maybe there's going to be, because, wait, hold up. Was this a thing in Rebirth or FF16, or am I crazy? There was side quest and then there was side missions. Because there was a JRPG that I played. Maybe it was Final Fantasy. Maybe it was Final Fantasy. Did Rebirth have... Hold up, dude. FF7 Rebirth side missions? Because I feel like it had two... Wait, no. I think... Side quests and odd jobs. The side quests and odd jobs were... side quests include anything that can be sorted under the quest tab. And then many of the side quests can also be classified as odd jobs that can be found at announcement boards in the middle of town. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Maybe it's not Final Fantasy. Maybe, what was it? What, was it Tears of the Kingdom? It might have been Tears of the Kingdom, actually. I don't know why I thought it was Final Fantasy. So in Tears of the Kingdom, they have side quests and, like, side missions. In the side quests are, like, smaller scale, not as important missions. And then the side missions, or whatever you want to call them, are, like, they're still side quests, but they have a lot more story significance. So, like, there's going to be more characters that are significant to the story, or events that are significant to the story that don't affect it because it's not main story, but, like, have way more connection and meaning. Because in Tears of the Kingdom, it's a huge game and there's a lot you can do. So if people focus on, like, just those side missions, then they'll feel like they're not missing out on as much. But I thought that was Final Fantasy, so never mind. Doesn't matter. But what I was saying, I think that throughout the map in Revelation, there's going to be, like, these lily spots for Aerith maybe or something, that the party, whether it's Cloud or Zack or anybody in the party, can, like, you know, kneel down and talk to, like I said earlier. And then we'll get, like, a flashback or something related to maybe, like, the other timeline or other universe, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a timeline shit or a universe bullshit. I don't know. But something to do with Aerith that will either be, like, extra lore or an Easter egg, or maybe, like, you know, the flashes that Cloud had in his head during Advent Children. Because based off, which we'll look at this in a little bit, Hamaguchi was like, hey, that quote about the remake games leading straight into Advent Children and the ending being the same as the original, that's a mistranslation. And, like, I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but I'm also not saying that is going to happen. So we don't know. Which, honestly, I would prefer that, and I've said this since the beginning. Well, actually, I think in the beginning when I played Remake and then I played Rebirth, or even before Rebirth, I was like, dude, they're not going to change the game. It's going to end at the same point the OG did. It's going to lead straight into Advent Children. It's just going to be a full remake. It's not a sequel. It's not like going to change anything. Like, it's a remake, and they're just doing all this extra stuff to be interesting and just so that people buy the game, right? That's what I thought for the longest time. However, I'm kind of on the side now where I'm like, I want Revelation to end and that be, like, the end. Like, I don't want to play Revelation and then once it's done, I'm like, okay, well, now Advent Children will happen. Not because I don't like Advent Children, or because I think it's bad, or because I think the ending of Advent Children is bad, or I think the ending of OG is bad. Like, I love OG, FF7 OG, and I thought AC, even though it's a not great movie, I think the ending and everything I did really enjoy. Not perfect by any means, but really good. But I think I will be left dissatisfied if I finish Revelation and it's, like, not like okay, we're done. FF7 universe can continue on. Don't get me, I'm sure it will. But the story of Cloud and Sephiroth and everybody else involved, we are finished. Like, no more. Like, this is the cutoff. We get to see the resolution of all the characters, what happens, who lives, who dies, how everybody feels, how the world ends. Like, I don't want it to just go into AC. Like I said, not because I don't like it, just because I think I'd be a bit disappointed that, one, the whole journey up to this was a waste, which it wouldn't be a waste because the journey is the pretty much the highlight, right? Like when everyone's like, "Oh, I can't wait to focus on the journey, not the destination." Like the journey's been amazing, but still, for a video game and for what the remakes have been, the destination is still very important. I think because I don't know, like all this stuff that they're doing, I think it would be a disservice to even like Hamaguchi and the writers to be like, hey, we're going to do all this stuff and then lead back to just where it was. They probably also don't want to do that themselves. Obviously, I don't know that. I could be wrong. That's okay if I'm wrong. But like I would imagine they don't want to do all this extra writing and things just to kind of loop it back all the way to where it was. So that's where I am currently. I would like them to end it and for me to be fully satisfied, get a definitive question to a bunch of stuff from FF7, how it maybe ends, what happens to everybody after the ending of the game. And even they don't even have to address that. I'm not even going to lie. They could end FF7 like the original or different than the original, and we get the resolutions on all these characters, what they're up to, maybe stuff of what they're up to post Advent Children, post Dirge of Cerberus, because Dirge is obviously the farthest in the timeline. And then it could cut to the Red 13 Nanaki running, and then you see Midgar, right? Or maybe it's a bit different, but like if they still want to end it a similar way with the whole 500 whatever amount of years later thing, that would be fine. But I just hope that we get a solid, like, okay, cut and dry, yes, no on some things for the rest of the cast, which honestly, I don't even know what it would really be, but just knowing, like, seeing Cloud and everybody involved either happy or not, like, whatever their emotion is and whatever happens to anybody. Like, I don't really have a wish of what happens with certain characters or, like, all these things. That's not really in my mind because I just want the game to be fun and I want the ending to be emotional and to be worth my time. So I have full faith in the developers, Hamaguchi, and everybody involved that they will be able to do that because they did that in Rebirth almost perfectly. It's not perfect, but almost. So I think I fully believe they will deliver, and I'm very excited to see what that is. But I just want to, like, I don't know. I don't want it to just be back to where it was because I think that just like that kind of sucks, right? Because this is supposed to be a compilation of everything. So if it's a compilation, make it like feel like it's a compilation and make it feel like it is truly the ultimate like Final Fantasy VII piece. And that if you watch Advent Children play the original, that will all be very, very much not necessary, but very much important and supplementary. Not necessary, but will greatly enhance your experience and appreciation for what it is. Because if they end it normally, then it's like, okay, there's no reason to just not play the original because your appreciation and I guess that's as cut and dry as it would be. Your appreciation probably it's not going to change, right? It would probably only get worse. If I played the OG, then I played three of these games and it ends the same way, and then like, oh, okay, let's watch Advent Children. I'm like, okay, well then why did I spend this time playing the remakes for, all the cool story stuff, which is exciting and interesting, and the graphics and the gameplay is, some of the best of all time for Square Enix games. Still, some people, if they only care about the story, it's like, okay, well then it's the same story. So I don't know, man. Like I understand why people want it to end up the same way, and that's fine. Like I was that way, I think, last year or a couple years ago. Like I totally am not going to think people are stupid or think it's a waste. Because obviously everyone's got different opinions and different things that they're looking for for a game, and different connections and emotional attachments to these characters. But I think that's the fence I'm on now. Like I said, if they do it in a way that still kind of wounds up in the same way, but it's satisfying, it could work out. I think it's going to be much harder for them to do that. However, I don't really have like an answer or like a choice or like this is what should happen because I'm not working on the game and I don't know what's best for the game because I just don't. And 99% of people also don't know. Like 99% of people who have a certain want for how it will end, like me, we have no clue. That's just a hope. And we'll only know what we want until they give it to us. So regardless, that's how I'm feeling about it. We definitely went off. I definitely went off tangent, off to the side, bringing up this Aerith stuff. But yeah, the Aerith flowers, I think, in the game, maybe you go back to the slums, to the church, and that's how it starts the quest, the original, like, lily flower spot. And whoever you're playing as, Zack. Dude, what if, because Zack ends Rebirth off in the church, I'm assuming he's not going to be in the church at the start of part 3. I imagine they'll probably jump to a certain point with Zack. However, maybe could happen. Revelation, where whenever we see Zack for the first time, if it's the first cutscene in the game, which I don't think they'll do, I think they'll start with something Sephiroth related. But if they cut to Zack and he's still in that seat at the end of Rebirth and he's looking at the lilies and he interacts with it and then gets some sort of thing from Aerith or like some sort of message or some sort of sign, right? Or something. And maybe it's like a live stream like thing in the air that he like looks at that like maybe it leads Zack to the rest of the party. Like maybe Zack somehow ends up in the world or timeline, whatever you want to call it, that the main cast is in. And so whenever his part, it just continues right off from Revelation and he interacts with the flowers and then it's kind of like a live stream like Aerith, like guiding him to the rest of the group. So then when he meets up with the rest of the group, that's when then Cloud will be out of commission. And then you'll be able to still have like a Cloud type character with everybody when you play the game. And then from there, Zack will tell everybody about the flowers. And then boom, side quest unlocks throughout the game. There'll be more spots throughout the map. Not that many, maybe a couple here and there that you'll have to find in like a cave or some other certain place, or places that maybe reference things from, other FF7 compilation things with Aerith, like Crisis Core or Advent Children. And then you'll get some lore or something. And then once you get all of them, that could be a part that plays into certain scenes. Because like I said earlier, Hamaguchi was like, yeah, you're going to miss certain scenes, or depending on things that you do or choices that you do, you'll get certain things with certain characters or see certain things with certain characters. So if you do the side quest, then maybe you could get, some more Aerith stuff or Zack or I don't know, something. But that could be cool. Probably won't be a thing because, and I could see why people would think that's dumb, but clip it. If that happens, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. I haven't seen anybody talk about that yet. It's not like a crazy revelation. Good one. But I think that would be cool. I just love Aerith, man. She's awesome. She just adds so much. Not that everybody else isn't amazing, but like just after she was done so well in Rebirth. Like I loved it because in Remake I'm like, oh, I like Aerith. She's cool. Like yeah, cool. And so but I wasn't like over the moon, like, oh, she's the best. Like, I loved like the OG, like Avalanche group a lot. I was like, oh, I love Avalanche and all this stuff. And then once Rebirth came, I was like, dude, Aerith is awesome. Like I thought she was awesome already and she was cute and whatever. But I was like, oh, she's that motherfucker, bro. She's fucking sick. Especially at the end of Rebirth when she pops out, fucking Omni Aerith with Sephiroth. I'm like, damn, guys, she's so cool. So I'm just excited to see what she's up to, but it doesn't discredit all the other. There's so much that's gonna happen in this game. I am scared. Like, I'm so scared. There's so much. Let's watch the gameplay introduction, and then we'll actually. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, hold up. Let's watch. Then we'll look at the interview questions.
Short,
so we'll get some more answers. Okay?
The world's in trouble.
Jesus.
So what are we waiting for? Let's give Sephiroth the beating of a lifetime.
I could talk about this all day, which is why I'm excited for tomorrow. I got to bring these points up to them.
As we reunite with our heroes, the meteor looms in the skies above. A constant reminder.
I could never be. Oh, that's different though. That's just
as you embark
that's just a
upon
guess.
Your journey and face the
I'm not
epic
doing anything
conclusion
crazy.
of the remake series. Aboard the Highwind, your very own airship and the pride of the Shinra fleet, you'll take to the skies and witness our most expansive open world yet. From the outskirts of Midgar to the sun-drenched Mideel Archipelago to the warrior nation of Wutai. Simply pick a direction and set sail.
Hold up, guys. Let me... Wait, Tifa showed up on the screen. Wait.
The grave threats you'll confront as you...
Dude, Rufus looks so fucking good, dude. Holy shit. Like, I'm talking about Cloud and Aerith and the cast and everybody, but, like, the Shinra side of stuff is going to be so... like, even the Wutai... Oh, my God, bro. Fuck me.
Of your mission.
Fuck
The grave
me.
threats you'll confront as you embark upon your journey and face the epic conclusion of the remake series.
Oh, Sephiroth touching Cloud.
The conclusion of the remake... Conclusion.
This is Northern Crater? Huh. Chat, I do think the game will start here, by the way. I do, which... I don't know. I feel like maybe that, like... would be... I feel like that'd be too soon, but based off the trailers, I'm like, I feel like it will start here. Like, we're gonna have an opening cutscene like Rebirth with Zack. And that will be, like, I'm assuming they'll do something like that with Zack once again, or with Sephiroth, like young Sephiroth, or with Aerith. Most likely it'll be a Sephiroth thing because it's, you know, part 3 and it's going to focus a lot on Sephiroth. But then after that, like, you know, whatever section, it would be like 15 minutes. Then I think maybe we'll go back to the Northern Crater. I don't know. Well, actually, no, wait. Because Rebirth opens up with the Zack stuff, and then it also has the Sephiroth and Cloud flashback. So I guess maybe Revelation, once again, opening scene with Zack, Aerith, Sephiroth, one of those three or whatever. And then a tutorial section where we're in the Northern Crater or something. And then we get to use Vincent and Sid for the first time. I don't know. I think this would be a good starting point. I just don't know what they would put in front of it. Like, because they need to start the game off with, like, a huge bang, as they did with Rebirth and obviously, like, Remake. But just being at the Northern Crater and being like, hey, we're here. Like, you know, we gotta do the reunion. But, like, that would be cool, don't get me wrong. But it needs, like, you need build-up. Like, this is the third game, I know. But, like, obviously, if you're starting a new game, you need still that time to build up this sequence and it to be, like, exciting and scary and ominous and all these things. And you can't really do that. At least, I could be wrong, but I feel like you need, like, a solid hour or 2 or 3 to really, like, get you in the feels of, like, oh, shit, like, we're actually going to go do this. Like, you don't need to wait 5, 6, 10 hours. Like, that's too much. I don't know how they're going to do it, dude.
The remake series.
Like, because they've shown so much of this, so I'm like, they're not going to show stuff later in the game. They're going to keep shit super hidden, especially with the first reveal. I feel like everything we've seen in these trailers is pretty much the first, like, 5 hours.
Aboard the Highwind.
Highwind, we know we get first 5, 6
the
hours.
Pride of the Shinra fleet.
That's why I'm like,
You'll
Northern
take
Crater,
to
they're
the
showing so
skies
much
and
of it.
witness our most
That's got to be the
expansive
first
open world yet.
major section
From the outskirts of
in the
Midgard
game.
to the sun-drenched Medial archipelago.
Oh, yeah, there's Tifa right there. Hold up. Let's just go back real quick.
World yet. From the outskirts of Midgard to the sun-drenched
Dude! God, look at that view. Medial looks so good. Medial looks so good. I'm kidding. I'm being weird. I'm not being creepy. But no, actually, Tifa jokes aside, actually looking at the Medial looks sick, bro. Because that's what they said it was, right? I thought this was Nibelheim at first. But apparently it's not. Which is interesting. But I think I saw someone point out that this is like the Promised Land. Or this looks like something in the Promised Land video CG cutscene from Remake. So maybe going back to the Aerith Lily flower spot thing again. What if we got, like, flashes of the Promised Land when we went to those spots? Or, like, throughout the game. Dude, I would love to see an Ultimate Universe timeline, whatever you want to call it, with the Promised Land actually happening. Because they talk about that in Remake on the Shinra Tower, and we see what it would look like. And in the original game, they talk about it, but, like, we never obviously see it or go there. So this would definitely, oh my, I can't fucking speak. Definitely be the opportunity to like go there maybe, or like see it, right? Like somehow I don't know. That'd be cool. I don't know. I don't know what they would do with that or how they would do with it, but that'd be sick. But Tifa looks great, obviously. But like I've said, I'm not trying to be weird. I'm just joking. Yo, Vaughn, thank you for the tier 1, man. I appreciate it, dude. 16 months. Holy shit. Thank you. How are you? What's up,
Deal
man?
Archipelago to the warrior nation of
Gosh, dude, Wu-Tai? Oh, my, sorry. I keep pausing it. Wu-Tai looks crazy. Did we ever get a confirmation on a day-night cycle? I guess I'll see after I read the interview stuff, but
time.
Please.
Simply pick a direction and set sail. But how can you be expected to protect the whole world at once? You'll need to cover ground fast.
I am not jumping. No way, no how.
Don't worry. These parachutes are top of the line. Pull the cord and pop. You'll be floating through the air like a feather.
At any moment in the open world, simply pilot the high wind to your destination and take a leap of faith. With the wind rushing past, you'll descend seamlessly from the sky above to the ground below. Where will the winds guide you?
This shit is crazy, bro. Also, no Cloud in a lot of these, so we'll probably... So realistically, yeah, starting the game with a Northern Crater and we lose Cloud, like, right away, I guess would make sense.
And take a leap of faith. With the wind rushing past, you'll descend seamlessly from the sky above...
It's so cool.
...to the ground below.
Oh, it's so cool.
Where will the winds guide you?
Also, you can see, like... Oh, this is so interesting. Damn, dude. Fucking crazy.
First, that freedom is in your hands. But no matter your destination, to defeat your enemy, you'll need a fighting chance. And that starts with your trusted allies. At long last, with the world teetering on a blade's
Is this inside
but
the
no matter your destination, to defeat your enemy,
ship?
You'll need a fighting chance. And that starts...
No, this is not. This is probably Midgar. I was gonna say, is this the thing underwater? It's not. That thing is way too... This is way too large of an area. Because you encounter Reno in the thingy underwater, right? I forget what it's called. Like the fighter submarine thing. Unless maybe you don't, but this is probably too big of an area. That's... No, also, hold up. We haven't even seen the under... Like, that's a whole part of the game that I didn't even know was a part of the game until I played the original in October 2024 for the first time. Like, submarine exploration. Like, dude, everyone's focused on the high wind, rightfully so. But, like, we have a whole ass underwater area. Like, what the fuck is that gonna look like?
With your trusted
and we go to space. We haven't even seen Rocket Town. Like, we go to Rocket Town, which wasn't even in Rebirth, which is fine. But along with that, we also go space. It's a short section. However, we still fucking go to space, bro. Like, we still go to space. Which I think when we go to space, I think we will definitely have something with, like, Cloud and Sephiroth and, like, the Edge of Creation. Obviously, we're not going to, like, reach the Edge of Creation, but I think from us being in space, there will be some... Like, Sephiroth will mess with us when we're up there, and something will happen that's different. Because it's supposed to be, like, a really, like, cool moment in the original, and so I'm sure they'll make it really cool again. But I would imagine... it will get fucked with because it's such a big moment that, like, this is like a pivotal scene. Oh my gosh.
At long last, with the world teetering on a blade's edge, everyone assembles at Cloud's side, forming an epic ensemble of heroes, each with their own story that brings you closer together than ever. But a good unit needs more than friendship to save the day. It needs a disciplined combat regiment. The hybrid battle system, established in
Dude!
and refined in Rebirth,
Yuffie's gonna be the best character in the game again for combat. She was like the best.
Power in your hands. In
God, look at
fluid,
Chidnova.
real-time action, seamlessly switch between party members to even the odds. Then, when the fight calls for strategy, enter tactical mode to unleash a suite of powerful new spells and abilities. Activate devastating synergies with your companions. And of course, call on mighty summoned entities that can turn the tide of battle.
I already dissected this, like, party shit a lot last week, so I'm not gonna look at it again. But okay, This is why I think this is where the game will start,
return
and
to
I
my
said this
coffin
when we watched the trailer
until
last
we
week.
put Sephiroth in his.
Vincent is a deft gunslinger,
It's
capable of
'cause
delivering precise, high-yield shots.
These are like character
There's
intros.
more
Like that
to
was
this
Vincent's
secretive
intro with
former
like his
Turk
line,
than
and
meets
they were at
the
the
eye.
Northern Crater,
The
right?
result of experimentation
And
at
Sid
the
will
hands
do
of the
his.
Shinra. Vincent
Um,
can transform into the galleon
So that's why I think
beast
we'll
at the
start
press
there,
of a
because that would be
button,
the perfect spot
gaining
to be like,
tremendous
okay,
power
everyone's
while
together.
transformed.
Like,
And when combined
now
with
we can
skills
introduce
of a
all these
certain
team
ace
attacks,
pilot,
introduce,
their
you know, Vincent and
high-impact
Sid,
synergies disrupt the fight
and it would
with
give them
ferocious
a good
results.
intro for both of them, and not just,
The
you know,
Leaping
here we go.
Lancer, the Dashing Dragoon, the one and only Sid Highwind.
Sid
Yeah.
Highwind, the cantankerous
So it's like-
pilot.
They do these intros, which why would they do these intros halfway through the game? Like maybe they all have a moment and they're like, maybe they're having their Focus M moment and they're like, oh my God, let's all do like funky intros. But like, that's obviously probably not going to be the case. So I'm assuming, yeah, they'll start the game there. Or like after the opening scenes or whatever it will be, then there'll be a cutscene. It leads us to the Northern Crater, whatever. And then boom, when we start walking and finally have combat, then they'll introduce Sid, then Vincent, or Vincent then Sid, whatever, and then they'll do the little intros that they do in these trailers. Yeah. They could have exclusively, like, they could have made up these intros, like these voice lines, and shoved them in a different scene just for this trailer. But that just, I feel like it wouldn't make sense, especially since they are only showing so much. Like, they're clearly showing the first quarter, 1/8 of the game. So they're probably showing stuff in the beginning. So why would that not be like in the beginning, you know?
Extraordinaire.
But that's what
joins the
Nico
party
said.
And their mission to defeat
And we'll talk about that
Sephiroth.
tomorrow a bit more.
Sid's command of his lance allows him to rapidly close the distance for powerful strikes. Or
But I
engage in
imagine we'll go to
sweeping
Wutai right
area of
after,
effect
dude, 'cause
attacks
Cloud's
to bring
not
a
with the
whole
party,
host
dude.
of enemies to heal. But to fully control the battlefield, skill with a weapon only gets you so
Dude,
far.
look how...
The further
Wait, is that outfits in the background?
with a weapon only
Oh,
gets you
I can't
so
wait to
far.
see what the Highwind
further
is like,
augments your
dude. Oh my
combat
God.
capabilities.
Who's that back there?
Try
Oh, it's so much stuff. Oh, God.
this on for size. Function Integrated Tactical Suitwear. Or
Yeah,
the
Cloud
FF
looks a little
system
rough,
for
not
short,
gonna lie.
allows you to further customize your
Tifa
playstyle
looks
with
stunning.
new uniforms imbued with unique movesets. Alongside your equipment and materia, Fits gives you an extra edge in battle.
Fits are cool, man.
To face what's coming, you'll need all the strength you can muster. Sensing its fate hanging in the balance, the planet itself has unleashed its last line of defense. The weapons. Ancient beasts that are larger than life and capable of untold destruction. Will you be enough to stop them before it's too late? As the world is torn apart, you and your friends must unite. In Revelation,
Dude,
we come to the
I'm
thrilling
so excited for
conclusion of
Wutai.
the Final Fantasy VII saga.
God.
And your mission is clear.
I'm just excited for the whole
Take
game.
up your
Fucking
Buster Sword.
shit.
Equip your materia and stand together.
Yeah, so see, this is probably...
Last time.
Like, even this Genova shit, like, this has got to be the first, like...
Stand together.
Maybe...
And your mission is clear. Take up your Buster Sword. Equip your materia and stand together. One last time.
Hold up.
7 Saga. And your mission is clear. Take up your Buster Sword. Equip your materia.
Because, like, this is them parachuting. In Cloud's here, and everyone's looking at Cloud like, bro, what the fuck? So maybe this is where it starts, right? Because they're right by the Krator or the whatever. So, opening scene, they parachute out of the tiny Bronco because that's what they're flying. Is it the tiny Bronco, right? Wait, yes? Yeah. At the end of Rebirth, it flies away, and they're flying this way because Aerith is like, go here. They go straight there. Something happens with maybe Sephiroth whispers, or Sephiroth, like, makes a storm, conjures up a storm, like, fucks up the tiny Bronco. It crashes. They jump out with the parachute, right? Introduce the parachute mechanic. They land here. Everyone's together. This plays, right? Boom. You control these characters as they're walking to the crater some more. And there's no combat, whatever. But then once you get there, then that's when the character intros happen. And then boom. So then that gives you, like, probably a solid like 2 hours and change for them to build up, maybe even 3 hours plus like the combat as you run through the area. A solid like 2.5, 3 hours before like the reunion stuff actually goes on, and then they can build up that stuff with Cloud flashbacks or going crazy or talking about the ending of Rebirth with everybody still. In instantly like putting you in the shoes and being like, hey, he's still crazy. It's even worse now. And so then it restarts that build up to the reunion, because like I said, you can't have all that stuff in Rebirth happen and then just assume that players are going to just hop from that game to the next game right away and think that tension carries over, because it doesn't. Because obviously there was a climax to the ending of Rebirth and the game ends, and then feel satisfied or whatever the emotions that you feel at the end of the game. So they have to restart all that tension, even though you're aware of what happened and know what's coming up. You still have to restart all those feelings and things to build up. And after 2 full games of what you've been doing, you can't really like speedrun that in like 30 minutes to an hour. So yeah, I'm interested in how they're gonna do it. I'm not worried because I'm sure it'll be fine, but I'm like, like how are they gonna pack all of this in a way that's not like rushed or getting to a point quick? I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking
together.
know.
One last time.
These skies belong to me. Hope you're ready.
God, I'm so excited. I am so excited. I am so excited. Square Enix, I love you, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it's so peak. Okay. So we finally watched that. It only took 40 minutes to get through all of that. So now let's take a look at everything. We got a lot of stuff to look at. All right, we got a lot of stuff to. Oh my god, let me take a sip of some water right now, as we pull up the deets, chat. Okay, let's do a little zoom in here. Let's do a little zoom in. I think that's good, right? That's probably good. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. All right. I would love to play FF7 music, but it's going to get my stream taken down. Good night, GotW. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be back tomorrow for Fears to Fathom. Horror gaming. Okay. So some of this chat I know about already. So I'm not gonna sit here and talk about every bullet point extensively, because there's no reason to. But I want to get up to date with what we know about the game. So, shout out once again, John Q, in this link I'll put in the YouTube video to this forum for everything. So this is the trailers, gameplay, media, content creators, T-Fun, Street Fighter 6, X relevant posts, video interviews, reviews. Okay. So the first thing that I guess we really heard from Hamaguchi was in Max's stream, and I watched that, so we'll quickly go over this. Old maps from Rebirth will definitely look different. Exploration is indisputably more expensive than Rebirth. Okay. Chocobo can fly around freely to explore vertically. We're operating within the same combat system for the weapon battles, but we have unique mechanics and gadgets including in the battle, which we saw literally in the trailer right here, or whatever it is, with this random, whatever the fuck this bullshit is. So that's cool, right? But okay. Chocobo breeding is going to be different this time. We're helping Pico grow, which will allow you to explore and reach new areas. So, yeah, once again, in the trailer, we kind of saw, like, Pico had, like, the piss jet that the specific Chocobo from, Midgar had. Day-night cycle story will be focused on story progression. Wait, the day-night cycle story will be focused on story? What does that mean? Oh. When you're playing the game, the day-night cycle depends on the story. So just like the first game, so does that confirm we can't change it ourselves, maybe? Unfortunately. I don't know. I think that's maybe what it means, but I could be wrong. Reunion was not on the list of 3 titles being considered. Nomura chose Revelation from 3 candidates. The title Revelation is for answer all the questions that players may have. Old Sephiroth VA is unable to come. Okay, so yeah, we knew all about this. Yeah, Travis Willingham is the new Sephiroth VA. He sounds different, of course, in the trailer, like the one clip that you hear of him. But I gotta hear more. I'm sure he'll do a great job. Like, I'm not worried that it will be bad. I'm just wondering how it will sound throughout the whole game, and if that will be, like, jarring. But it's not like a will the performance be good or bad thing. It's more of like a how will it feel when you're listening to it. You know, since we've been through 2 whole games with Tyler Hoechlin, whatever his last name was. But yeah, I'm sure he'll do good. He's in a bunch of good shit too. He also was the big dude in Dispatch. I was gonna say Omni-Man, but obviously not Omni-Man. What the fuck was his name? Something Man? Big Man? Mustache Man? You know who I'm talking about, right? Him. But yeah, he's a good VA, so I'm interested to see what happens. But okay, next interview thing. This is stuff that I actually don't really know about. Max's was like the main thing I heard. Black materia activated at the beginning of Revelation. Okay. So I guess, yeah, that will just kind of lead Cloud to be crazier. Which I guess that would probably really help with the descent into like madness. Or like showing Cloud like, oh my god, look, he's going crazy. Like, it's crazy stuff's happening. It's leading to the reunion, like stuff like that. I guess that would make sense, right? Like, that would be the best way to really, like, speed run, or not speed run, but step on the brakes for getting the player to be like, oh shit, like we're starting and we're going. Like, we're not going slow. We're not starting out. We're taking our time, exploring, having fun. Like, stuff is happening, and it's not nonstop. So yeah, that'd be cool. That makes sense. Yeah, full throttle. Yeah. Chadley has a base in conducting research on Meteor. He has an important part related to the main story. Okay, yeah, I saw this the other day. I think this is fine. I like Chadley. I do not like the Chadley hate. I think Chadley's fine. Okay? I think he has a base in conducting research on Meteor. I think has a base is for on the Highwind. Not him having a base on Meteor. I think he has a base on the Highwind, and he will conduct research on Meteor as we fly around. And I'm assuming his important part related to the story will be like, I don't know, man, when we return to Midgar with Hojo, right? And with Deep Ground, because Deep Ground will obviously show up pretty much in the story, because we never got the resolution with Yuffie and Nero, right? Like, that's like a huge part of the DLC in Remake. And even in Rebirth, there's moments, obviously, with like Sonon and stuff. So I'm sure we'll go back. There'll be Nero and Vice and whoever else, Genesis, whatever the fuck. And I think, because I said this the other day, like how in Dirge, Hojo's like, yeah, Vice is like, what? I don't even remember how Dirge ends, but I know in that game, Hojo's is like in the body of Vice, right? Or like he puts his mind conscious in Vice, and that's like what he uses to gather intel around the, or about the world. I don't fucking know, bro. It's some weird ass shit in Dirge. Like, I like that game, but the story's fucking weird. But I'm assuming instead of them using him, Vice, as like the body for Hojo in Dirge, they might take that concept and be like, yeah, Hojo used Chadley to gather intel and everything, and, you know, turns him bad. Whatever, I don't know. He goes berserk. We fight him as like the final. Like, there's some big battle where you fight him, and he uses all of the information that we gathered for him throughout Remake and Rebirth and Part 3, Revelation. Oh my god, I keep saying Part 3. And then he will use all that information to fight us. So, like, one big battle, whether that's a part of the main story or a side story where it's like he can transform into different, summons or something. I don't know. I think that'd be cool. I don't think that'll be a part of the main story, though. That'll probably be a side thing. But the main story stuff, yeah, he'll probably just help with the meteor stuff. I don't know, man. I wonder how in-depth it will be. Like, they clearly had a plan with him since he was added, right? Especially with his bigger role in Rebirth, so I'm excited to see what's up. But, okay, cool. Vincent is able to transform beast mode anytime with range attacks. Cool. Sid is excellent in aerial air-based attacks. Makes sense. Building upon the existing foundation and then evolving on what we've created. Ability to customize and play the character as the player wishes. Yeah, so I saw on Twitter that Hamaguchi wanted to make the job system more like the original Final Fantasy games. Like, people kept bringing up FF10-2, X2. And he was like, yeah, we didn't, like, that makes sense. But we kind of wanted it to be like the OG FF games where you had all this freedom to switch between everything. So that's cool. I'm excited for the fit system, man. I think it's really cool. It'll be interesting to see what each character has. Like what their abilities are and what their outfits are, Like, I don't know. More freedom. More player expression, character expression is awesome. Exciting. You can make broken builds. That's all good stuff. Minigames are optional, more light. Cool. I don't know what more light means. I imagine more light as in, like, not as many. But optional is fine. I don't know, man. I don't think they're that big of a deal. I love the minigames in Rebirth. Like, they're not all hits. Don't get me wrong. They're definitely not all hits. But, like, I liked most of them. I got the 100%, bro. I fucking did it. Literally everything the game has to offer, so I think they were fun. Epic homage weapons. Epic homage weapons. How to present and scale them. Okay. Remake series concludes with Revelations. Yep. We heard fans wanting to explore the side stories of other characters and or other parts of the story. It's interesting, but we wanted to conclude this as soon as possible, and the efforts are focused on that. I don't really know what that means. Okay. Because the minigames were a main complaint from Rebirth. A lot of people didn't like the sheer quantity. Yeah, I understand why they did it. Like, I get it. I thought they were fine, and a lot of them you could kind of skip anyways, but I know. They want to make people happy. It's smart. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. All right, next. Trailer focuses much more on the game's systems and what we're trying to express through the game itself. What you can do in the game and how deep the gameplay goes. Cool open world spanning the entire planet. Depending on what a player chooses to engage with first, the way their adventure unfolds can differ significantly. That's cool. That's cool. I'm excited for the open world aspect because, like, it's like the OG where you can go to Wutai if you want and you can skip out on it. I just hope it's not so open world where, like, it loses focus. And I'm imagining it won't. Like, I assume it'll be like Rebirth, but just more locations. So I'm not worried about that. I don't know. I like open world games, but it can get tiring. It can get a bit exhausting. Even with Rebirth, man, like, there's a lot of stuff to do. I did everything, but it took a while. It took a long time. I really hope that in Rebirth, or not, in Revelation, and I said this the other day, the old locations. So, I think that the old locations in the game, when we're going back to, like, the Grasslands or Cosmo Canyon, depending on where we are in the game, it will be all messed up from, like, the weapons, like, going on the land, right? Like, we can assume that. The game basically tells us that. Like, that's not, like, a crazy revelation or anything. But we have these weapons. As we see in the trailer, they're going on the land, like, on the surface, and they're fighting stuff, destroying stuff, whatever. I think that as we have them doing this for the new locations, I I think in all the old locations, if you go back to those old locations in the beginning of the game, they either will be there already or they won't be there. But the land and the ground will be all messed up, right? Like the meteor, because in the beginning of the game, start the game, opening cutscene, northern cratered bit, you lose Cloud, like reunion like what things go crazy, meteor shows up, boom, like the world starts to fall apart. And so then as soon as you're able to freely explore, when you go to these old locations, the ground is all messed up and starts to like raise, and like things are like falling apart in those locations. And we can see that in one of the trailers. I think it was it the reveal trailer? Where if you look at the grasslands, it kind of shows it with like it's like uprooting itself, right? You can kind of see here. Okay, you can kind of see here. Yeah. So we can see this is the grasslands, right? Yeah, this is the Chocobo farm. Oh, wait, is this Chocobo farm? Hold up. Is it? I think it is. Am I misremembering? No. I think this is it. Either way, there's the grasslands, I think, one way or another. You can see like the ravines here in the ground with like the Mako coming out or whatever. So I'm assuming if we go back, everything will be messed up, and then we can talk to the NPCs, talk to the characters. There'll be quests, right? Boom, we can do this quest, whatever. And then if we go back again throughout the game, or even if, on our first visit, the weapon is there and this like uprooting hasn't happened yet, and we'll fight the weapons in those old locations, which then will unlock quests for those locations. And then that will kind of like mess with the terrain and then make it interesting to explore again. Because I don't want to go back to the old locations from Rebirth and then have like a billion things to do. So I think the best way they could do it is change it up a little bit, change the terrain. Not too much, right? I still want it to remain relatively similar to what it was, but just enough that it's exciting, but then also have a reason to go back. That isn't just look at what is there and see that some things are different, and then, okay, cool, that I'm done. Yeah, like, okay, let's leave. So you want the NPCs to be like freaking out over the meteor, right? Or like, oh my god, like we have to gather materials and stock up because the world's gonna end. So maybe you help them with that, right? Like hopefully not too many fetch quests like that, but that could be like something, okay? And then, the main thing you have to do is like fight this mini sized weapon, not one of the main weapons, one of the mini sized weapons in these old areas. And then once you fight them, maybe more quests unlock, or like it destroys shit, right? And then boom, you have to help the NPCs with some other quest or something, I don't know. And then that would give you a reason to go back, quests to explore, whatever. But then you don't have to like load it with go over here, find this item, find the Moogles, or like go do this puzzle where the summon was, from like stuff that isn't just you walking around and like pressing the button and looking on the map and filling out the 100% meter. Like it like actual story stuff that has a significance that will make you want to do it. And then it's like you could keep it simple, like have like 10 quests, that's it. Weapon shows up, fight it, get some XP, it changes the terrain a little bit, a couple more quests based off, what happened with the weapon fight, and then you're done. Like I don't need to find like 5 towers in all the old zones. Like that kind of would suck. So I don't know, we'll see. But I think that's what will happen. Because then as you fight these like smaller weapons, and I don't think this is gonna happen, but this is just like a maybe, because I don't know how else they would do it. As you fight the weapons, it will introduce like mechanics here and there on how to fight them, and maybe different tools or different technology that you find from Shinra. And so then by the end of the game, once you fight the big boys like Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, then you'll be like, oh, all these mechanics I learned throughout the game, now I can use them against the big guys. But now it will be those mechanics plus something else, or like it will evolve those things even more. So then it's like a gradual build up to the fights, and then it gives the player like a basis of what it will be. And it also makes you get excited, because you'll see those weapons come out of the ground, come out of the earth, whatever, in the beginning of the game. And then as you're fighting the smaller ones, you're like, oh my god, if I'm doing this with this guy, I can't imagine what I'm going to do with Ruby by the end of the game. So that could be something to get the player excited for. But once again, I don't really know. I'm not like super confident that that will happen because I don't know how they could do it in a way that would line up with like what they've shown us so far. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's keep reading. Entire world is connected from the start. We knew that already. Hamaguchi games to reference, draw inspiration. Witcher 3, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon, and Crimson Desert. Interesting. FF7 Revelation includes all the continents from Rebirth. Okay, makes sense. Each area contains its own unique activities, gameplay mechanics, and interactive elements. Depending on where the player chose to go first, their experience can end up being quite different. Okay, so yeah. That's so interesting, dude. Like, what would that mean? Like, if we go to Rocket Town first, does that mean like Palmer shows up there and he gets hit by the truck or the plane or whatever it was in the original? Like, if we go to Rocket Town, Palmer shows up there, he gets hit. But if we don't go to Rocket Town first or second or whatever, whatever order it would be, then he shows up at like Wutai, right? Or like someone else shows up at right, maybe Shinra's chasing you, and depending on where you go first is where a certain character will show up, and maybe there's like a different fight for like 2 or 3 locations. Not like any game-changing crazy fights, because that would just be too much budget and take too much time, but like a similar fight in each location, but a little different here and there. Like maybe some different set pieces, maybe different outcome, different dialogue. I don't know. Because then, like, it retains the whole, like, the Palmer thing from Rocket Town, or, like, how Shinra chases you, like, there into other places, and, how, like, Don Corneo's and, like, Wutai and stuff. Like, I wonder, yeah, like, time of day, or, like, the order of things. Like, you could miss, like, Don Corneo falling off the hand of the whatever they're called at Wutai. Like, I imagine they wouldn't make that missable, but they could. Like, they could, dude. Was that a part of the main story in OG or no? I don't even remember if that was optional. Because in Rebirth, Don Corneo shows up with, like, I think it's the Proto Relic quest? It's when you're in the desert. That was a side thing? Okay, that's what I thought. He shows up when you're in the desert for either the Proto Relic or it's the Kid G thing. He's there for a bit with his lackeys, so I'm assuming they will keep the running gag or the running trend of it being a side thing. So part 3, it would probably be a side thing again. So I hope so, but we'll see. That's exciting. What else? Weapons has caused major changes across the world. Due to that, old maps are different from previous games, even though visual identity, atmosphere, and setting remains familiar and world map is preserved. Okay, so yeah, so it's literally what I said. I'm imagining the weapons will mess it up. You'll go back, some different quests, help them out a bit. Maybe they show up while you're doing a certain quest, change up the terrain even more. And then, boom, some things unlock after that happens. Either maybe a cave pops up, or a building gets destroyed. I don't know, but something that'd be cool. You'll travel alongside Pico, your chocobo companion. As Pico grows, the way you explore the world changes as well. So I assume, instead of breeding chocobos, we'll have Pico, and he'll just get cooler and cooler as the game goes on, which is fine. That's fine with me. Parachute from the Highwind, job-inspired fit system, no restriction on game design due to multi-platform, awesome. Weapon battles as a natural extension of the regular combat system. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Okay, dude, there's so much shit to look at. Holy shit. Trilogy's finale theme. Resolve and choice. Interesting. More sections in the game where players' choices are so crucial that they can alter not only the progress through the game, but even the direction of the storytelling. That's fucking crazy, bro. Like, what does that mean? Experience changes based on your choices, yet things ultimately converge toward a single conclusion. Experiences that could completely differ from one player to another. Definitive conclusion, no multi-ending game, thank God. Choices players make on the journey towards the conclusion will affect their individual experiences as well as other stories told through side content. Bro, I don't know what this means. Because in Rebirth, there's like, obviously like the Gold Saucer date, in the play, and there's like, you know, a couple scenes like when you're on like the minecart and shit. Like that stuff's different. But this feels like it's more different than that. You know, like the play was cool, but like it doesn't affect really much in the game other than the cutscenes, which is awesome. But it's not like that will affect something down the line. You know what I mean? Like no matter what you choose, it will still be the same outcome. Same thing with the Gold Saucer. Like it doesn't really, it won't get addressed directly. Like depending on what you choose, that's not going to affect the ending once again. So I'm assuming it's just more of that. Maybe in a greater scale though. Right, like, maybe... I don't even know what that could, like, be. Like, I'm assuming... That's got to be, like, what I was saying with, like, Rocket Town or Wutai. You know? It's like, you go to Wutai first, and, like, oh, you could miss, like, seeing Don Corneo die. And see the reaction of Don Corneo dying from Tifa, right? And how she would probably be happy, because he captured her, and, you know, he's weird as fuck to her and stuff, and Cloud, and Aerith, and everybody. So I'm assuming that's what they mean. Like, you will miss out on moments of character, like, seeing more depth from the characters, or reactions, and things like that. I don't know how, like, crazier it could really get before it's, like, so important that it's affecting your story. Like, affecting your playthrough in a bad way, right? Because you want to have things be optional and also be different for everybody, but you don't want to have those things be so substantial that if you miss one of them or, like, decide not to do it or whatever on your first playthrough, it's going to affect your opinion of the game when you finish it, right? Like, you want things to be different enough where it's like, oh, that was cool, or like, that's exciting. But at the end of the day, because you're all going to end up with the same ending in the first place, it needs to still... It needs to make sure everybody also has the same reaction at the ending. Not same reaction in the sense of, like, if somebody likes it and somebody doesn't like it, but if I did 2 playthroughs, I did 1 playthrough and chose a certain decision, right? And then I could make time go backwards somehow and erase all my memory, replay the game again, make another decision that was varying to the scale of whatever is said here. My reaction to the ending or, like, game shouldn't be too different. Like, it shouldn't be, like, affecting how I feel about the ending or, like, certain character arcs. You know what I mean? Like, it's, like, it needs to be supplemental. I don't know. I don't think it will be like that, but I'm just, like, I don't know how they will do that. Because this, I don't fucking, it's exciting, but I'm like, huh. I don't know. Interesting. Once again, throwback to the Aerith flower spots. You know, go around the map, get them, learn more about, you know, some stuff here and there. Boom. I don't know. What else? You don't have to engage with the minigames if you don't want to. Yeah, that's fine. That sucks, because I feel like... God, people are such little bitches about the minigames, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Controversial take. Just fucking play them, dude. God damn it. It's nice that people can skip them, but it's like, oh my god. Come on. It is what it is. It doesn't bother me, but... God damn it. They're all not hits, of course, but... 85% of them are good. Minigame difficulty is added. Minigame rewards are now largely unrelated to combat progression. Instead, they offer things like character skins. That's awesome. You know what? That's fine. I don't need combat rewards for minigames. I would like that. But honestly, keep the combat rewards to, like, combat things, right? Boss fights, quests that include, you know, combat, right? Like, minigames are, like, for skill and for, like, extra time. And people who want skins and customization options, obviously are going to put the extra time in, right? So you shouldn't force somebody to play a mini game and end up with something that's like inconsequential. That's like you're doing two things bad there. So it being optional and it only affecting like things like that will be, I think that's a great balance. So that's cool. Q emotions, I'm excited for this. Me too, man. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Battle progression and the like are tied more closely to combat-oriented side content. Cool. You obtain the Highwind fairly early on, and from that point, you essentially go wherever you want to play however you like. Okay, yep, of course. You might wander into a place out of curiosity and immediately get demolished by powerful enemies. Yes, please. Thank you. Please and thank you. I want to feel like I'm not just following a checklist, and then I feel like I'm actually exploring the world. That's awesome. Northern Crater becomes inaccessible for a period of time because a weapon has appeared there. Sure. There are still locations you can't access because of story-related reasons. Makes sense. Vertical exploration makes sense. You might pick up a quest in one location, then travel to another area to progress it. Okay, yeah. That would also... I hope so. I hope so. What the hell? What else? If you already visited an area, you can fast travel. Cool. They're in the final polishing stage. Cool. The title implies the hidden truths will be revealed. Cool. Right? Like how Aerith and Cloud actually are lovers. The key unifying term for the team is resolve, representing both the determination of Cloud and the other characters and the developers' commitment to bringing the series to a proper conclusion. Bringing the series to a proper conclusion. As we were saying earlier, that is like that, like proper conclusion. You don't just like hearing the word like that is like, yes, in the past, there wasn't a proper conclude, right? Like using that verbiage makes me feel like, hey, we know there's been a bunch of compilation stuff. We know there's been a bunch of stuff outside the original game. And we want to give you some closure about everything. Like a proper literally conclude, like what he says, proper conclusion. Like that, like that's what I don't know, man. Like that makes me think there's no way it just ends and it's like, okay, it ends like the original, we're done now, into Advent Children, you know? Like that wouldn't make any sense, because like that wouldn't be a proper conclusion, right? Like that wouldn't be any different than what we've already had. Because using the word proper makes it seem like the conclusion we've had before the remake project wasn't proper. Which maybe maybe the translation is you know, different and I'm reading into it wrong, but I don't know. Not that the ending of the original was bad. I fucking love the original game. It's so good. But maybe just like in the sense of, I know we made a bunch of spin-offs and Dirge of Cerberus is like the farthest in the timeline, so like, you know, people may be confused. I don't know. Either way, that's cool. Can I say Labubu? There we go. Is that good? New locations include Rocket Town, Wutai, Mediel. Yeah, of course. Areas that appeared in FF7 Rebirth are slightly changed. Yeah, we already know this. Exploration expands as Pico grows. We know this already. What else? Players can descend from the Highwind via parachute, fast travel. Highwind serves as a base of operations for Cloud and the party. Features both a flying mode and indoor mode. Items collected throughout the adventure are displayed inside the... Yes, dude! Oh my god, 100% is going to be so good. It's like Johnny's house, right? Actually, that's what I'm excited for. I can't wait to see what the Leslie side quest, the Johnny side quest, and what's the other one? There was the continuing side quest from Remake into Rebirth that will now be continuing into Revelation. Leslie, Johnny. There should be like 2 or 3 more. I don't remember what they would be. But those overarching stories are very fun and interesting. Those are exciting. Maybe Leslie. Maybe we will invite him to the ship or some shit. I don't fucking know. Or the Highwind. The buggy does not return, but similar truck-like vehicles are available. Cool. Rocket Town is filled with precious machinery. For that reason, a no chocobo sign is seen. Vehicles can be used in Rocket Village instead of chocobos. Oh, cool. Vincent primarily fights using ranged gun attacks. Sid is a spear user inspired by the Dragoon. Battle Director Endo proposed the addition of the fit system. Cool. 4 outfits are available as soon as you get the fits. So you unlock all 4 instantly? You get what? Black Mage, Warrior, White Mage, and then like what else would it be? Like wait, Black Mage, White Mage, Warrior. What would the other one be? Dragoon? Like classic job. Like classic jobs would be Warrior, White Mage, Black Mage, Dragoon. Hold on, let me look up final FF5 jobs. Monk? Maybe Monk? Knight, Monk, Thief, White Mage, Black Mage, Blue Mage, Berserker. Oh, Berserker might be one. That would be cool. Interesting. All right, cool. Outfits affect character parameters and add skills and abilities. Effects tailored to each outfit's unique characteristics. Outfit growth rates are shared among all characters. Oh, thank God. Okay, that's nice. I guess because there are like 7 characters or whatever, having each outfit and fit like job class be a separate leveling system would be a pain in the ass. Okay, that's cool. That makes it nice for accessibility and grinding. Because, dude, on top of the fit system, we're going to have materia. Excuse me. We're going to have the leveling system. Like, we're still going to have a bunch of stuff that is, like, not including the new systems. Because the systems already in place from Rebirth were great. So, they're like, okay, we're going to add all these things, but still make it easy to kind of manage, which is really nice. And we know that we have materia loadouts. We saw that in the trailer already, which is cool. Character skin feature allows players to keep a character's original appearance while using the fits outfits. Makes sense. Transmog. Additional character skins can be collected throughout the journey. Makes sense. Advent Children skins will be cool. Weapon skin feature allows players to select preferred weapon appearance. Bro, the fusion sword. Dude. Please. Please. Also, I have a prediction. The end of Revelation, or at some point in the game, closer to the ending of it, we will get a Advent Children-like Sephiroth versus Cloud final battle from AC, where they're up in the air flying and fighting. But it will be different. And I think it will be different in that Zack is involved. Whether that's Zack and Sephiroth, or Sephiroth and Cloud, but you're playing as Sephiroth, or maybe Dark Cloud, like where he's all, taken over by something. And so maybe you're maybe Zack and you're fighting him. But I assume they'll recreate the ending of Advent Children with like the Omni Slash or something. Whether maybe it is just Cloud and Sephiroth at the end, which could also happen too. But I feel like maybe they'll switch it up. That'd be cool. If they don't, that's like a crazy ballpark. Like, what the fuck? But that's still a guess of mine. What else? Weapon battles include unique mechanics and gimmicks layered on top of the. Yep. They feel distinct from battles against regular enemies. Minigames now include selectable difficulty levels. Knights of the Round will be available. Player choice affect the overall game experience as a result. Okay. There's only one ending, thank God. Nomura decided the title, final stage of development, considering playable demo at TGS. Bro, I gotta go to TGS. Anybody want to fly me out to Tokyo? Any company? I got you. Use a parachute to descend. Okay, let's hold on. Let me skim through this real quick. In the story, after each story arc ends, a briefing is held on the Highwind to discuss what's next. Oh, cool. You can fly freely everywhere, including various islands. Kept all previous area. Okay, so this is like repeats of stuff. Weapons that are not involved in the story can be challenged at any time. Boom. Beautiful. There are, of course, some moments where we say, for now, please follow the story on this continent. Oh, interesting. Okay. In this game, however, once you get the Highwind early on, you can free... Okay, so we know... Okay, so this is all repeat stuff, I think. Zack will make an appearance at key points in the game. Other playable guest characters will make an appearance at key points in the game. Zack's screen time is greater than before. Yes. Wutai has a very politically charged storyline. Yes, we knew that. Midgar area will be also featured. Deep grounded people involved with it may appear there. Nero and Weiss. Yes, we knew that as well. Underwater world. Yes. Thank you. Knights of the Round. Dude, I never did the Knights of the Round stuff in the original game because I wanted to leave at least a single thing that was new to me in Revelation. I was like, I'm going to do every single thing in FF7 OG except for Knights of the Round. So that when it happens in Revelation, and whatever they do in the game for it, it will be completely new to me. Because everything else I know, right? Because I've played all the compilation game. I've done it. So, like, I know almost everything. So I'm like, I want to leave at least a little surprise for myself. Which it will still be a surprise even if I play the OG. But just like, I don't know. Just something. Affection level system this time. Wait, affection level system this time. The focus isn't solely on him, but the side content. What? But the side content which character each user wants to delve deeper into and learn more about. Okay, so I guess they're saying the affection level in Rebirth was based off Cloud and his affection with everybody. But now, I guess it's just whatever side content you do, because we're not going to be with Cloud for a majority of the game, we'll get to see more about everybody, which makes sense. Yeah, dude, no, wait. Are we going to see Zangan? Is he going to show back up? Right? Like, are we going to go back to Nibelheim or somewhere? And, like, we get to train with him or something? That would be cool. Interesting. Tifa versus Scarlet slap fight will be present. Yeah. That's exciting. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, let's see. Jesus Christ, bro. Okay, holy. Let's quickly go through what. I'm just gonna skim this. New locations include Icicle Area, Northern Cave, Rocket Town, Wutai, Mediel, Midgar Outskirts, the Underwater World, and various islands. Rocket Town possible to visit in the second half of the game. Rocket Town restricts Choco. Okay, so this is new. Gold Saucer doesn't play a major role in the central narrative, but it will feature its own contained side stories, just like Rebirth. Bone Village will not be present, but Northwood and the Temple of Ancients will be able to revisit, obviously. Yeah, so chat, my guess with the temple, well, not the Temple of Ancients, but like Forgotten Capital, Northwood, all that stuff, when we go back with Bugenhagen and we look at the big crystal and he's like, hey, go underwater to find this random key bullshit, bring it back here so that we can look inside this crystal. And then in the original game, once you get that, Cloud looks inside the crystal ball, whatever, he sees like flashbacks to Aerith and him and when she died and everything. I believe that moment is the moment that we will see the burial scene. So, you know, people were controversial, or it was controversial when Rebirth came out and people played it and people's opinions about having the burial scene or not, because obviously it's very important to the game. And I like the ending and what they did with it. But I've always been the one where I'm like, it's still going to show up. They would not have that in the game. Like, that is one of the most, like, gut-wrenching scenes from the original. Think of the Fall of Dark-Eyed Phoenix. Why would it not be in the game, right? Like, they're saving it so that in Revelation, we will have that moment of like, oh my god, there it is. And then we will cry our eyes out, right? Because the Rebirth, the ending of Rebirth is like, hey, Cloud is going crazy. You cannot trust this guy. Like, you as the player cannot trust him, and none of the cast with him. can trust him either, and they're trying to, they want to, but it's hard to believe him. So having the burial, because even if, you know, the visions of Aerith at the end as well also aren't actually Aerith, having that burial would totally throw off the tone of what was happening and what they're trying to convey. Not to say that I wish it was in Rebirth, don't get me wrong, but I think the way they did it, it just wouldn't have worked. So, when we go back with Bugenhagen, or maybe we don't go back with him this time, but I imagine we will, when we do look in the crystal ball, that's when we'll have that realization of like, oh shit, there it is. Like, because that's post-reunion Cloud as well, so he's like, you know, back to normal, in quotes. So, I think... Wait, maybe it's not... Is it post-reunion Cloud, like when he's all better from a deal, or are we not with Cloud yet at that point? I think we are with Cloud at that point. I'm misremembering. God, it's been not that long, but I need to replay it again. But I think that's when we'll see it. That's when we'll see the scene. That's when we'll see the stuff that we missed from the Rebirth ending. That's when we'll get the full realization, and everybody else will see, and then we'll see the reactions of everybody else, and we'll see that, like, oh my god, they knew this happened. We just didn't get to see it because Cloud is our narrator. That's my guess. That's been my guess since I played the original in 2024. So I don't know. I think that will probably happen, but that'd be cool. What else, man? What else are we looking at here? Black Materia is activated. Sephiroth will summon. Yeah, we know this already. Around the beginning of the game, we might land in Icicle area and reach Northern Cave. Yes, I said that already. Chadley works on the High Wind. I'm excited for part 3. Me too, Dark-Eyed Phoenix. Me too, man. Revelation title can be read as Liberation 2, as per the katakana. Nice. Zack appears at key point. I guess New Baby Webs seen in Medea region. Okay, this is all the same stuff. Core combat system from Rebirth returns. Optional non-story encounters. Vincent. Level 99 cap. The cap in Rebirth was 70, so that's exciting. Level 99. Customizable ringtones for Chadley. Dude, can we get, like... Can we get, like... I don't even know. Like, Tifa humming the fanfare as, like, a ringtone? Like, what is the depth of this? What is the depth of these ringtones? Can we silence the ringtone as well? Darude, that'd be crazy. Darude Sandstorm. Once the game is over, there will be some super bosses that are even stronger than the final boss. Thank fucking God. Thank God. Wait, is the Ancient Forest going to be in the game? Did anybody ask about that? Because that's an optional area. That was, like, pointless, practically. Because apparently, like, they took stuff out of the original game. So it made it pointless. But do we know? They said no Bone Village, but they didn't say no Ancient Forest or whatever it was called, so... I hope it's in there. They might have reworked it as, like, a side area again. And maybe it's, like, a big mini-game zone, right? Like, that could be it. All mini-games are optional. Mini-games can be skipped. Mini-games are... Okay, I think this is everything, right? I've exhausted the topics at this point. Queen's Blood is back. With expansions to both the game rules and the story behind it. Cool. It will feature Red 13 as its pro tag. Cool. Snowboard minigame will also be available at the Gold Saucer. New minigames available at the Gold Saucer. Everyone in the game has become obsessed with Queen's Blood since the end of Rebirth, just as many IRL players did. That's awesome. Wonder Square has been completely taken over by Queen's Blood. Jesus Christ. Marketing focuses heavily on gameplay systems depth and player freedom. UE4 was kept to speed up development. Huge. UE5's Nanite system rendering... Nanite... UE5's... Oh my god. Nanite similar rendering system was created in-house. Huh, okay. No design restrictions resulted from multi-platform development. Development resources were prioritized toward concluding the trilogy rather than expanding side stories. DLC could be taken in consideration. Playable demo might be showcased during the months when these events take place. TGS, PAX, Gamescom. Chat, I might go to Gamescom and PAX West I'm going to. But Gamescom, I actually might go to in Germany. Undecided. I can't say anything else as of now, but I might be able to actually go, which would be crazy. Release plan for spring of 2027. Multi-platform remake and rebirth players will receive summons. Resolve serves as the team's central development philosophy. Okay, cool. That's everything. That's everything, man. Okay. So, what else can we look at? This is another article that was pretty much, I guess, yeah. There's so much, like, I would love to look more in depth at all this, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really would have actually enjoyed to look at the articles more and read, like, the specific quotes that he has to say. Especially because Hamaguchi, the way he talks about stuff is very interesting, and I would love to see, like, specific things and not just, like, the general paraphrasing. But I don't have 7 hours to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 22 fucking links, bro. Not including the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 video interviews. Brother. That is crazy, dude. Holy shit. If I wasn't away for the past week and a half, I would have went through all of these articles as they released. I 100% would have. So, going forward, if more news comes out and I'm not going to be gone to LA and New York City and traveling a shit ton, then I will actually cover the full article because it's much more interesting than me just reading bullet points. However, I can't do that right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do that. But okay, that's everything, chat. Let's check out Audrey. She has some tweets. Shout out Audrey. Talking about the game that I don't think was mentioned here, but I would like to look at them real quickly just as a cap off of anything. Like this. Hamaguchi says the Bloomberg interview that 95% of FF7 Rebirth... Or no. He says in the Bloomberg interview that 95% of the FF7 Rebirth team stayed to make Revelation and contributed to the efficiency and speed of developing a third game. He says the only other team who probably has so many of the same team carryover is FF14. Which is crazy. Like Square Enix is like, oh my god. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that if you kept your development team, you would make games quicker, bro? Like, are you, like, brother? Yes, yeah, a fucking course. Of course that's what happens. Like, dude, Square Enix, oh my god. What an anomaly of a company sometimes. Like, dude. I'm happy for him and for CS3, but that is crazy that they're like, yeah, of course we're going to make the game quicker when I stay with the team. Well, yeah, man. She's the one that got you interested into lads? Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, she plays lads. She's cool. What else? So, oh, yeah, this was not in the article. Bloomberg asks Hamaguchi what's next for him after the conclusion of the FF7 remake series. He says it's not going to be a remake. Lol. There we go. Huge. His team could work on a smaller scale AA title or maybe a new Final Fantasy title or perhaps even a new AAA game. I think he should do more FF games, man. Like, whether that's, I think, give him free reign to do what he wants. Obviously not a remake, as he says, but a new FF game that is a new story. Just because he's like not a remake, oh, go and make FF7 like spin-off? No. Do not do that. Do not. Make FF17, which is definitely already in development, FF18, or get this team to work on literally any other Square Enix game. Like they cannot get rid of Hamaguchi. So please pay him nicely, pamper him, and keep, if he wants to, let him make games, bro. He knows what he's doing. Also, marketing wise, he is stellar, dude. Like, I honestly think part of why the remake series does so well, even now, because it gets so much publicity, is because of him, hands down. If he didn't do 25 interviews, there wouldn't be from interviews, people post articles. From articles, people click on them and tweet about them. From tweeting about them, people see stuff about the game, then they want to buy the game. It's just a loop of it's a constant conversation, and he has pretty much had some new thing to say about FF7R, whether that's the rebirth or remake ports on the Switch, or now with Revelation, or oh my gosh, please get excited for part 3. It's on the way. Last year, every 2 to 3 months, he has something. It's at least something. Even if it's a nothing burger, he's working his ass off, bro. So I don't know. Square Enix needs him, actually. Genuinely. He knows what's up, bro. He really does. But okay, what else? I think this is it, man. Oh, shit. Here we go. Hamaguchi answered a question at an event in Shanghai regarding about why Cloud does not have a definitive romantic relationship, and if that's because they want fans to decide themselves. Hamaguchi says, rather than having fans decide, one of the joys of consuming entertainment is creating your own headcanons, which makes the work enjoyable. He said for FF7, he personally thinks that since every character is iconic and loved by so many people, rather than them defining something clearly, having the player think about their own feelings and compare them with their own experience makes them connect with the characters more. However, he says in Revelation, he hopes that everyone can look forward to seeing what happens in the game. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? I think this is just him saying, he's doing his Hamaguchi speak, where it's oh, yes, this game is so cool, and I hope you love it, and I love making the game, and I think this is how you people should think about it. But please await the game. It's like how he answers a lot of the stuff, you know what I mean? But when the game comes out, there could not be an answer of a definitive romantic thing. But at the same time, there could be with the way he talks about it. So I don't know, man. I already have my headcanons when it comes to pairings in the game. Yeah. Well, most people do, right? And I was talking about that earlier. That's the joy of it. It's that's the whole point, right? And he's even saying that. It's you playing the game. The reason people connect with video game characters or like certain characters a lot of the time is because they can relate with them, right? That is just how fiction works. If I play a game and there's a character I can relate to on an emotional level, I will most likely like that character 10 times more than another character that I cannot relate to. Even if that character is annoying or maybe is designed in a weird way, visually, and I don't like the design as much. If I can relate to them emotionally and I understand what they go through at certain points, most likely you're going to be yeah, I like that character, right? And so when you're playing a game like FF7, if you're playing it and you really like Zack or you really like Cloud or Sephiroth or Sephiroth, that'd be fucking crazy. But Aerith and T, man, woman, it doesn't matter, gender, that doesn't matter at all. But I'm just saying, whatever it is, and whoever you like, it's all gonna play into how you emotionally relate to them and your experiences. Whether maybe you had a bad experience, that a character had a bad experience, and so that you're oh my god, I really like this character because I can relate to them, or the character does something in the game that happened to you in a negative way, and maybe you dislike that character for it, or maybe visually how they're designed will affect it all. There's so many things that affect how people care about these characters, especially Final Fantasy VII, especially the big four of all the shipping stuff. Which is why it makes me sad that there's just not much nuance in the conversation. You know, there's nothing wrong with shipping Zack and Aerith, right? Or Zack and Tifa's crazy. But like Cloud and Aerith, Cloud Tifa, Cloud Aerith, whatever, Zack Aerith, like whatever all the combinations are, there's probably a billion out there, but like the main combinations, it's like that should be a fun topic. Like, oh, you like Cloud and Aerith? Why? Like, why do you like why? What's the point, right? And then someone gives me, oh, maybe you relate to Aerith in a certain way, or you relate to Cloud, or like, you know, something happened with somebody you know, like a friend or a family member that could be, you know, similar to Cloud's experience or similar to Aerith's experience, right? And you're like, oh, cool, like I relate to that on the personal level, and so then that means I want those characters to be together, or you know, whatever, right? And then vice versa with Tifa, Zack. It doesn't matter who, but that's so cool to talk about. And I think a lot of this, or most of it, at least on like Twitter, and even as I showed you guys earlier, like in my Instagram comments, it's just like it's not a matter of like, oh, I want to hear why you think about this, maybe headcanon, or so many people like spout about like, oh, this is canon, that's canon. I don't know, bro. It's because from hearing about these pairings and how people think about it, you can then learn about the person you're talking to, right? Like the person telling you, oh, I like these two characters together and these characters together. Like you can learn about that person through their interests of those characters, right? Not only learn as to why they like them and maybe get like a different perspective as to why that pairing is interesting, but also you can be like, oh, like, okay, so you experienced that thing, and so then maybe you can connect to that the person you're talking to on a deeper level. But I think it just opens up for cool conversation and like just knowing people and learning about, like, I don't know, bro. I sound like a fucking old man. I sound like a fucking like parent. But I do wish that there was like a set in stone kind of thing that they decided on in the game, because I would love the conversation to not be so like vitrolic with everybody and like, oh, this is canon, that's canon, like all these things. However, I honestly probably would say that I don't really want them to pick a side as much as I think that they should, maybe even more. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's me being like pessimistic or something, but the reason I think that is because like if there is like a set in stone pairing for everything, right? Like, oh my god, like certain characters like kiss and have children, or like they get married or something, like stuff that's like very definitive. I feel like that would only then make the situation worse, right? Because then it would turn into a, hey, look, you were wrong all along. You're stupid. You don't understand the game. You never understood the game. You never understood the writing. Everything you said about the writing and how you felt about it is wrong. Like, and then people would get even more like their ego would grow even more, and it'd get even more intense, I honestly think, with a definitive choice. Obviously, without a definitive choice, like, that is literally said by the game, or literally said by, like, Hamaguchi at this point, other than, you know, like, context clues in the games or whatever, it still is very, like, oh, look at this scene in the game, you're dumb. Obviously, this is what it means. That's still happening. So maybe I'm wrong that if there is, like, a definitive this and this, that will change, but I fear that will only lead to people doing like a look at me, you're wrong all along, you idiot, right? Like that's I don't know. I don't think there's any winning in the end. So for me, I don't really have a choice, or not a choice. I don't really have a preference. My preference is I want to be satisfied with the ending. I want to feel like the characters are satisfied. I want to feel like the writers and Hamaguchi and everybody involved have a set in stone decision and set in stone vision. And if that vision is reached and fully shown to the player, whether that's them picking a pairing or not picking a pairing, as long as that vision is fully shown to me, then that's all that matters to me, right? Like I don't really know what it could be. And I guess as of what the Hamaguchi quote is saying, like, yeah, we like for fans to decide, like, maybe that's what it will be. Maybe there won't be a definitive ending. Maybe, you never know. Who knows? But Yeah, I've had lots of opinions about it in the past, about, you know, like, just everything related to like, the shipping and all the pairings and all these things here and there, right? I've gone back and forth with like my opinions and things, you know, playing the original game, playing the remake, playing Rebirth, like back and forth with maybe what could happen and what couldn't happen and all these things here and there. Right, but like that's I enjoy not having like a set like choice in my head where I'm like, this is it. If this happens, then this is the best game ever. If it doesn't happen, then I am upset. I want the game to make me think about it and like change my opinions on it, because that means I think that means that the game is doing its job at like showing the layers and the evolution of the characters as you play, right? Like it needs to make me think about everything they're going through and how they're thinking in these situations when certain characters are and aren't present. So I don't know. I understand why people don't like this answer for sure. I think I would love a definitive answer, but at the same time, I don't really know what would be the best outcome. I think either way, people are going to be crazy and mean about it. But who knows? Who freaking knows, man? I just want to see the creator's vision fully fulfilled. That's all that matters to me. Question: how do you think Resident Evil characters, FF7 characters, would react if they were put in the same universe? That'd be crazy, bro. Leon and Cloud would be crazy shit, dude. Leon and Tifa, though, it's like the best pairing. They wouldn't work out with each other, definitely not. But I would love to see Leon and Tifa go to like a coffee shop and like talk about things. I don't even know how the fuck that would go. Like that would just be the most random bullshit ever. Leon with anybody who isn't in the Resident Evil universe, even with people in the Yara universe, would be some random bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. But okay. What else we got going on here? How come there's no canon romantic ship for Cloud? Yes. Anyway, we'll see more stories about Cloud and also more of Sephiroth. W. Okay, huge. That's a W. W, Cloud, Sephiroth. What else we got going on? Hamaguchi says in the new Square Enix Shanghai Q&A that the goal of the FF7 Remake series is to not just create the OG FF7. Okay, we talked about this earlier. Yeah. Rather, it is a new work meant to combine elements across the entire compilation of FF7, such as Advent Children, Dirge, Crisis Core, and other spin-offs. And regarding whether Cissnei will appear in Revelation, well, he can't talk about it now. Dude, I fucking love Cissnei so much. I love Cissnei. She is beautiful. She is stunning. I've never seen a Cissnei cosplay. Like, actually. Dude, like, I think Coco could pull it off very well. Like, very, very well. But, yeah, Cissnei is beautiful, man. However, FF7 Revelation is a work they hope fans can enjoy to see how the characters they like turn out, such as, for example, Cissnei or even other compilation characters. He also notes that Cissnei is indeed a super popular character that a lot of media always asked him about. Cool. Dude, I fucking love Cissnei, man. And then there's my evil ass liking Scarlet. I know what you are. I know what you are. Know who I want to see more of, and we won't because she's gone. And she had her moment in Rebirth as well. Jessie. Bro. When we go back to Midgar and we see Jessie's parents, maybe we can tell them about seeing the gold saucer play and like seeing her picture up at the gold saucer. And then we could go talk to them about it. Right? That would be awesome. I don't think we will. But I'm assuming, or I'm hoping, there will be some sort of Jessie, Biggs, and or Wedge callback, mention, quick pop-up thing sometime throughout the game. Maybe not. If not, it's fine. It's not like we need them to do that because they were in Rebirth as well, way past their due date. But I love Jessie, man. Everyone's on about Tifa and Aerith. Like, I know Tifa and Aerith are great, but come on, Jessie freaking Raspberry, bro. Can we get on that? Can we, like, and get on that? I mean, like, can we get on that conversational topic where, like, she's such a great character? That sounded really, like, gross and weird. I don't mean it like that. But, like, can we, like, dude, she was awesome. She was fucking awesome. I love her. I love her, dude. Guys, she's the one for Cloud, bro. Fuck all the shipping nonsense. Jessie and Cloud, okay? Boom, baby. They wouldn't work out, but you know, it was fun to see her torment him in Remake. So you know. But yeah, I think we're done, chat. I think that's it. I think we're done, man. I think we are done. Is that it? Will Cloud and Sephiroth team up to fight again in FF7 Revelation? That is quite a difficult question. I unfortunately can't really speak much of the story at the moment, but what I can say is that this is indeed the conclusion of the remake series. How Cloud and Sephiroth will be portrayed, it will probably go beyond your expectations. Bro, what did I say? Final Battle or Advent Children Final Battle recreated, but you're controlling Zack and you're fighting Cloud. Dark Cloud. Zack and Cloud teamed up to fight Sephiroth in Rebirth. Kind of be crazy if, you know, now you do that again, but it's kind of flip-flopped a little bit. Oh shit, that'd be cool. What else? More Sephiroth questions, right? Are we done? In the FF7 OG, Sephiroth and Cloud seem like arch rivals. However, in the remake series, it seems more toned down. Why is that? Cloud and Sephiroth were actually never really portrayed as rivals in FF7 OG. Kitase often says this, but Sephiroth was a fearsome character in OG that you can't really see, but you can feel his intimidating presence, kind of like the movie Jaws. However, the Sephiroth in remake is different, as Sephiroth has a lot more appearances in the game, and he feels more real. Since it's been some 20 to 30 years already, people already know who Sephiroth is. However, in order to make it more dramatic in remake, we want to bring out more of his character. For example, what are his true intentions? Alright, yeah. Cool. Cool. Is that it? I keep saying that. Someone asked, what would Sephiroth think if he saw Cloud's cross-dressing? He thinks, sure, perhaps he did indeed see Cloud's cross-dressing. Be like, Cloud, you look so good. However, he asked the audience what Cloud would think knowing Sephiroth could see him, and the crowd says he probably felt embarrassed. Bro, these horny motherfuckers in China for Cloud Sephiroth, bro. What the fuck? This is awesome. This is awesome. Is that Audrey? Thank you, Audrey. Thank you. She follows me, which is crazy. I feel honored. Eminem Cloud is insane, by the way. Okay, chat, there we go. There we go, man. Oh my god. Not as long as I thought we'd look at everything. I kind of sped through in the end there. But I'll be talking about this for another 2+ hours tomorrow. So I don't really need to spend more time talking about this, because I'm no Maximilian dude, right? I would love to talk about it more, but gonna talk about it tomorrow. This is just the first batch of information. We're gonna get more interviews probably scattered throughout the next 9 months. So as they come, I will read them. We'll get trailer. Obviously, we'll get a bunch more stuff. My fave game journalist. But yeah, man, that's a lot of stuff, dude. I have more opinions and more things, of what I think will happen. But I'll save it for tomorrow. And if I can't talk about it all tomorrow, then we'll talk about it more on stream. Because, yeah, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay? 2 p.m. Eastern time. Schrodinger's Baby Seal on his stream. Me, Nico, and Wade. I will retweet the tweet. I'll put it in the Discord. I'll put it on my Instagram story. So at 2 p.m. Eastern, he will be live. It will all be up to find me there. Well, it'll be streamed. We'll be talking about, I don't know, everything, but he has questions ready. I have some stuff as well. Should be fun. I'm so excited. I can't wait. And then afterwards, I'll stream, obviously. We'll play some games tomorrow, but you know, if there's any topics left uncovered, we'll discuss them on stream afterwards. But I assume FF7 stuff will be exhausted by the end. So I think what is tomorrow? I think Fears to Fathom. Fears to Fathom, new horror game. It came out. We'll do that. And then maybe watch the Kane Pixels Backroom stuff. And then Thursday, we'll do Resident Evil 2 Original. And then Friday, Code Veronica. And then Deltarune. And then after that, we'll figure it out after that. But that sounds like a damn good plan. I ain't gonna lie. Sounds like a damn good fucking plan. But, all right, chat. Have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 2 p.m. over on Baby Seal's channel. And then I'll be live afterwards here at 6, same time as usual. So, have a good rest of your night. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for coming to listen to me yap for the whole time. Am I rating? I haven't rated somebody in a while. I'm not going to lie. I am not going to lie. Actually, let's rate Annie. She's streaming. Also, thank you, Dark Eyed Phoenix. I'm glad that you found my channel. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy and you stay and hang out and stuff. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's raid Annie real quick. There we go. I'll be back tomorrow. I gotta buy an air purifier as well. But, dude, my nose is mad stuffy when I'm streaming and shit. I feel like I'm constantly, like, clearing my throat. So I gotta figure that shit out. But, alrighty, guys. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.